one can, if some people don't sit in the last things, I don't think we need a mic. Manojit, come in front. Yeah, that's right. Back can be the last row, second last row also. Come.
Should we start?
Wait, let's wait for 2 minutes.
There's still more people outside.
There?
No, I'm asking.
I asked the last one to come, but they won't help. So it is keeping on. One example, keeping on using.
Where's KD?
KD is just taking 1 or 2 calls and coming.
Okay.
Yeah? I think he wants you to come this way. Come this way.
Make place for Kirtiman in case there's not place for him.
You come this way, come this way.
That's over here.
Once being recorded, then they'll be transcripted.
Mobile चले ना.
Certain technical reasons out here in Mali, I can't.
Manish, mute everyone.
Send out a message once the question answer session starts.
Guys, if there are some technical failures, we apologize in advance. this is our first attempt, you know. So should we begin?
Yeah. So the first tune on silent.
Yeah, guys, just put everyone put their phones on silent, yeah, if you can.
First we've got to introduce Sudhir instead of Rupinder. First order. Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see a good crowd here in Delhi. So now the first order of business which we start with is, as Rupinder is not available for this meeting and him being the secretary, we need to have a secretary who takes charge for the AGM. So we are proposing the name of Uday Vashisht as the secretary who comes in place of Rupinder, and who will be conducting the AGM. Okay, so now over to Uday.
Yeah. To begin with, we've got about 20 points on the agenda. I'm starting with the first one. The minutes of the AGM held on 29th November 2019 are submitted for being adopted by the members and have been on the website. They've been put up on the website for anybody and everybody to review. So that's the first point.
Just check if it's 29th or 27th. Just,
I will.
just
It's 29th.
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 Yeah.
27th here. It's written.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's an error.
Hmm.
Anyway, it's good to see everyone's arrived. It's good to see that the WELHAM Old Boys Society has arrived. So I want to really thank everyone for contributing so much with your time, money, effort to be here and to bring the society to this place. We, despite the pandemic, have achieved quite a bit in last 2 years and a lot in last 8 to 10 years. And some of the achievements are that first we begin with corpus. So our corpus has increased to 2.4 CR, which was about 70 lakhs, give or take a lakh or two here or there, about 6-7 years back. And the great increases thanks to the Silver Jubilee batches contributing handsomely, and even for social causes they've been contributing handsomely. And second is, the criteria to measure is the attendance of the alumni. The attendance has gone up by almost 4 times. Barring Platinum Jubilee, the attendance is almost 3 to 4 times of what it used to be about 7-8 years back. So that has really gone up, whether it is the reunions in Calcutta, in Bombay, Delhi, their highest numbers ever. And so that's great. And then third is the charitable programs that we've been running, whether it's Prem Dham, whether it's Rafael, whether it is the ambulance we donated with the concentrators, the ARN program to help women education, and even contributing to WELHAM as far as their program was concerned for providing medicines, etc. And Cheshire Homes, and many others. And okay, so, and yeah,
Let's finish with these first.
no, so I'll just give a quick thing. Okay. And even interactions with other alumni associations. Mr. Rahul Kohli, I've been meeting him for last 5-6 years, and he was the president of Doon School, and Mr. Ashutosh Goyal also, and they have been very, very kind to give me advice as to the path to follow, because Doon School, DSOBS was perhaps where we are today about 15 years back. So many times one can learn from them. One doesn't have to, make your own mistakes. You can learn from others. And one of the great achievements is that for the first time in the history of the AGMs, we have found that the number of nominations have been greater than the number of seats available. So that's
And to also part, they can't hear anything actually. Either speak into the mic or something.
okay. So that's, I don't know, maybe because the speaker is too far,
No,
That's what it is.
Mic se ho jayega?
Oh,
The YouTube link,
okay,
there they can't listen.
okay,
Zoom also they're there.
okay,
Mm,
okay.
Put the computer here only, here in front of him.
No, but
No, no,
he's,
near us.
the cord is there.
The mic is connected.
When it speak,
so-
when we
The
connect
speaker
it.
is there, mic next to the mic. I don't know whether.
Is he managing the audio?
No, he's managing it.
He's managing.
आपका ब्लूटूथ का साउंड कनेक्टेड नहीं है और फोन पे बाहर किसी को नहीं सुन रहा है.
Chalo,
You speak into the mic. Maybe
I'll try and
change.
speak into the mic. Maybe it's better. So, during the last 2 years, thanks to the pandemic and everything, we learned a lot of new things, which till now we weren't aware of. I did not know the trust structure of WELHAM, and I didn't know how and who runs what. And it's thanks to few disagreements that we've understood what the trust structure and how it works is. So you have about 7-8 people who are organization or people who have been running it. One is the trustees, then there are the board of governors, there is the principal, there is the parents, the students, alumni association, and of course the teachers. Of course the teachers who are there. And
Can he hear?
It's better for you.
Okay.
so,
Hmm.
yeah, okay. So I just want to put a few things. One thing I learned is that, and that's still debatable, is that the trustees are owners of WELHAM. I, to my understanding, think that they are entrusted with the running of the school, but they are not owners of WELHAM, and they are only custodians. And another thing I learned on this journey was that the students are the beneficiaries of the trust. So which unfortunately till 48 years of my life I was not aware of. And the board of governors, even though they are supposed to govern, they are more of board of advisors. So they give advice, whether it's taken or not, that's up to the trustees. So, though we feel very happy that they are there, but they have a very limited role in doing that. That's what I have learned from the bylaws, and that's what I've learned from people talking to them. Okay. Regarding the principal also is very has a very limited role to play, because she is today it's a she. She is selected by the board, and they are today. What do I say? They are literally vetting the process. Of course, any board selects them, but the thing is that it's a little unfortunate that the recruitment agency has our chairman and his nephew Devali, who's a batchmate of mine, on the board of advisors of the recruitment agency. So I don't know whether it is being vetted even before the person is hired. So that's something for them to answer, which we'll hear them speak, give their side of the story. If there is something factually incorrect, they can provide. Okay. So principals, let me tell you, she is the ex officio secretary of the trust. We didn't know that. And institution like WELHAM would expect maybe more experienced principals coming and taking over. But unfortunately, that's not been happening. And the trustees and board of governors can give advice in that. I thought initially it was the funds that were a problem, but you'll be glad to know that the school trust and WELHAM Boys has about 80 crores in FDRs in mutual funds. So that is not fund is not an issue at all here, right? And as far as parents etc. are concerned, today the catchment area, maybe like any other school, has reduced substantially. Earlier we had people coming from abroad to join WELHAM. Today it's limited to smaller towns like Muzaffarnagar, Meerut, etc., which is a source of worry for me as a alumni, and I'm sure must be a worry for them also. You know, because the idea to be in a boarding school was to have a great variety of people coming from all across India and all across the world. Perhaps other schools are also facing the same, but I'm worried about my school. Okay. Then this other thing about our office, WOB's office in the premise. The school management has stated on record that our office never existed in the premises, which I'm sure not even one person can claim that he's not aware of, that our office was never there. It was inexistent. If Mr. Parth Arora is listening, he made a video in which in 1997, in the Golden Jubilee, and you can clearly hear him saying that on my left side is the WELHAM Old Boys Society office. So that's something known. It is recorded in the Oliphant. In fact, you'll be glad to know that Mr. Kandhari, when he was the principal, our minutes of the meeting used to be published in the Oliphant. And we had a alumni representative on the board of Oliphant, which hasn't been happening for quite a while. Okay. As far as parents are concerned, I happened to be in the parents group, and because I was getting a lot of calls, so I said, I went to the group, I said, if anything you want to address, you can address me, because I don't have time to have hours-long conversations between them. And most of them were willing to talk to me on the phone, provided A, I would not use their name, B, I would not quote them. And the reason for that is they were worried. So while they are happy talking to me, telling me their problems, they were not willing to put it to paper and write me a mail. Few people have written to me, but most of them refuse to do that. Okay. Now the question is, we are asking for a few things. Okay. And Mr. Kohli is here, and I'm very glad Mr. Ashutosh is also here, so that they can verify right now whether it's correct or not. One thing we want is a limited tenure for the chairman, right? And I feel not only for the chairman, because he's the highest guy in rank across, and I think the highest guy should hold the maximum or highest moral values, and I think there should be a limited tenure for that, whether it is the president of WOBS or it's the chairman of WELHAM. I think they should follow the same standards, right? Second is a tenure for the trustees, okay? Because we do not want anyone sitting for a very long time. It should be when there is movement. There are people replaced. People come in with more vigor and enthusiasm, and you need a change. Rotation is very, very important. Third is there should be, and along with it, maybe a upper age limit. That so that maybe, I don't know, with their wisdom, whether it's 70, 65, 75, that is debatable. That's what we are looking for. We want the president on the board of governors by virtue of his being ex officio, vice chair.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but Uday, are we not taking the agenda points as they appear in
I'm just going to speak for 5 minutes, Manojit. Have patience here. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just ask whether there are any points that have points of concern that have arisen from the minutes of the last AGM, so we can put that bit to bed, and then we proceed with where you're coming from.
So actually,
Because
I'll wind up in 5 minutes, and then you can take over, so that
you
then
know,
we
so he
continue.
can just
Then we'll
Yeah.
go through the agenda points.
And of course, the ethics committee, right? So I will later address whatever people want, and I'll move on to them. And I last of all, I feel. Okay. Okay. So while even it's written, I don't remember, maybe Uday Walia or Nikhil on one of the mails, he says that the alumni is the fourth pillar of an institution. And the three pillars, one is the WELHAM management, the teachers, the parents, okay? Today I feel we need to stand up and raise our voice, because amongst the four, I think the alumni is the truly independent pillar that can stand up and raise issues. Those other three, unfortunately, the principal is dependent on the trustees to be selected. The teachers are dependent on their livelihood. The parents are worried for their children, and they cannot raise voice because they're worried their futures will be jeopardized. And I think, so alumni is the only independent institution that is left to raise any voice. And perhaps by creation of another body thing, they're trying to subdue our voices, and we'll stand up and fight. And I hope all of you, we are willing to listen. I'm handing over to the incoming president, Mr. Rohit Jaiswal. Let's have a loud cheer for him. Okay.
We'll take on the order of business.
Okay, now,
As
as
Mr. Rao
the agenda, as Rahul has suggested, we are going to start off with the agenda points. The minutes of the AGM held on 29th of November 2019 are submitted for being adopted by the members, and they have been put onto the website for anybody to go and see. So are there any questions by anybody to be raised for that?
So,
I just want to add, it was very, very lengthy, okay? It took numerous efforts to put it. If by any chance any point has been missed out, please point it out, it'll get added.
just let us know. Okay. So, can
Just a time out again. These guys are saying actually you're keeping all the 4 mics on. So when you speak, it's going like 4 times.
Okay.
Just switch off all the
Can you-
mics. Put on only the mic of the person who's speaking.
ये mics का button कहाँ है?
ये?
I've been looking for a button for
This
a very
one?
long time. That's what I wanted to do.
Off कहाँ से होगा?
Off कहाँ से होंगे mics? हाँ, तो सारे off हो जाएंगे
तो फिर
क्या?
आप ऐसे कीजिए, बाकी 2 ऑफ कर दीजिए, हम ये पास कर देंगे।
हाँ, use one mic या सारे off कर दीजिए आप तो. हाँ.
The students. Yeah.
Just put these off.
Yes, you can use one. That's ये cordless चल रहा है क्या?
Guys, आप सारे बंद कर दो भैया।
सारे बंद करो।
एक मिनट सर, एक मिनट भैया, सारे बंद कर दो। इसको रहने दो, मैंने यहाँ से अनम्यूट कर दिया। They can hear you.
ये लीजिए, इससे बहुत अच्छी आवाज है। भैया, ये थोड़ा AC कम कर दो, बहुत ठंड लगता है।
So, moving on to point number 2 on the agenda. The minutes of the elected.
Okay.
So,
So who proposes for the assembly?
so anybody who's proposing for the minutes to be adopted? Yeah, Rahul. And Podar, Sharad Podar is seconding.
Okay.
Okay. Point number 2, the minutes of the elected committee meeting held.
We are recording because it'll be very difficult to note these down. So.
Point number 2, the minutes of the elected committee meetings held during the year are submitted for being adopted by the members. Again, somebody adopts them.
Somebody
Has
proposes.
proposed? Okay. Himanshu has proposed and Amit Roy has okay.
Except, again, you don't adopt, I don't think the alumni or the shareholders or alumni body adopts the minutes of the EC. The EC's minutes are the EC's minutes, right? So you don't get the shareholders to, for instance, in a company, you don't get shareholders to approve the minutes of the board. And the reason for that is also because, certain decisions have to be taken by the board. You can't then worry about your decisions being overturned by a subsequent shareholders meeting who may or may not even understand what you were doing. So let's not confuse the two.
In this,
Yeah.
one of the
I propose. Rohit Jaiswal proposes.
you can propose.
You can adopt the minutes.
I can second it.
Point number 3, to adopt the audited financials of the year ended 31st March 2020 and 31st March 2021 along with the auditor's report.
I propose the balance sheet for 2020 and 1920. Seconded by Gurpreet.
Seconded by Gurpreet Singh. Point number 4, to adopt and approve the audited balance sheet of the financial year. This has been done. 5th, the auditors, Mrs. Gurpreet and company, retire at the culmination of this AGM. Being eligible, they offer to be reappointed as the auditors of the society, so they can be reappointed.
No, so I have a question here. How long have they been the auditors of the
5 years.
society?
5 years.
Why don't we have proposals from other auditors? Shouldn't we get proposals from other auditors? Why are we going with the same guys who've been our auditors for 5 years?
We are doing this because he's done an excellent job, and maybe another 5 years would be good enough for it.
5 is about as much as you should have an audit firm.
I agree with you.
You shouldn't go beyond 5.
I
Then
agree.
approve it for just 1 year, and at the next AGM propose that they should come up for re-election.
I think what
and
we do
others.
is let's do it for 2 years so that the next incoming, whomsoever the president is, he can.
I think that's a decision that Rohit should be taking.
Let's do it for 1 year. We'll take
Yeah.
it up next time.
Done.
fine.
Done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, just to add to one thing. So I think Uday is right about that. What we can do is in between, we can ask for more proposals.
Yeah.
I think that's what should be done. So, the president will now, during this period, ask for further proposals, however you want to do that.
Yeah.
Moving on to point number 6, to submit for discussion the status of the corpus funds in FDRs and the bank statements to the members. Annexure 3, this will be sent in a separate email since the file was too large.
So we haven't, no, FDRs, can I have the mic, please? See, FDRs, we do not share. FDRs as it is not in our custody as of now, okay? They are in the custody of the the WBSS management, okay? And as far as the bank account statements is there, bank account statements we are unable to share, but they are available for inspection, okay? Because we could not share it in a mass mail. The file was too large. But the bank account details on all our balances and all are available in our balance sheet.
Can't you just get an online summary of all your, what is the corpus and what?
Yeah, that's there in the balance sheet.
That balance 12 pages balance sheet that has been shared with the.
The balance sheet has all those information. The detailed bank account statements, the day-to-day account statements, that's not available. Yeah.
You should
Absolutely.
I,
Yeah.
Exactly. They
I'd
can-
say let's not do it.
Yeah, in fact, anyone
Yeah.
wants to inspect, he can go and check out
That's
in the
different.
office. Yeah.
That's different. Because
We are still retaining the office in the, WELHAM? Or that's,
That's the next point.
That, so, so,
That's the next order of business.
So the next date,
where do we order?
so the next date is 13th of May. So I can give you better answers after that, or maybe the next person, since I'm handing over.
Let's hope for the best.
Seventh point.
We still haven't got the duplicate FDRs from the bank?
Oh, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
The bank would have given you an acknowledgement of the FDR details that are maintained by them. That's a very normal standard procedure in banking now. You don't need to have physical older copies. Exactly. That's a redundant concept. It's changed many years ago.
That's mentioned in our account statements. That is a part of
Why
our
I'm
account statements.
correcting is that I think
Just leave it to
we do harp upon the FDR copies being stolen, lost, or however it might be. That is really an irrelevant point.
We have the account statement of the FDR. We know what our
So we know our,
numbers
what
of
is the
FDR.
I think what the
status.
point he's making is that
We
since
have
you're
it.
harping about the fact that the FDRs are not in your possession, he's saying that's irrelevant because these days you don't need to have FDRs in your right?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
So basically, the Canara Bank and old FDRs which we have, we are just continuing with them, renewing it. We only made 2 FDRs, I think 3 years back, for the corpus we received, and we converted them into a FDR. I think we have about 8 FDRs, 8 to 9 FDRs, which have been converted, and it's basically now old FDRs, which is in the physical form, can be utilized as a collateral also somewhere, which that's why we are saying that we don't have the physical copy of.
The loss of an FDR is not irrelevant, Marg.
Yeah.
We don't have it physically in our hand.
Ultimately, at some point of time, you will have to explain to the bank where the FDRs have gone. For the purpose of.
For the purpose of knowing, we have put it in the account.
So,
You have an FDR, all right.
okay, so an FDR is nothing but a chosen action, right? So the chosen action can never be deprived. You can't lose a chosen action. All that you can do is the evidence of that chosen action you no longer have.
It's a document.
But that's exactly. So I think, look, let's not confuse the issue. The FDR still belongs to the society, right? It's still the society's asset, right? It's just that what the bank will want is evidence to show that, look, what's happened to it. But ultimately, an FDR, a chosen action, is a claim against the bank. So we as a society have the right to claim a certain sum of money from the bank. That's all an FDR is,
But,
right? So let's not. But you're right. Look, I mean, there and you know we can talk about it separately,
Yeah.
but that's fine.
at some point in time, we do need the physical copy if we,
Yeah, and
we've
we-
been issued one by the bank.
We can talk about it.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I'll just quickly try to start because I spent some time in banking. What's happened now is that they've stopped issuing receipts for fixed deposits.
No.
I think which is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Now that is at the peril of the modern system now, where bank receipts, FD receipts are not available anymore. But what happens is that there is a problem with this because the physical receipt is actually your eventual proof that an FDR exists, right? For example, an FDR is not guaranteed. If I have an FDR of 100 rupees, if I have a deposit of 100 rupees, it is only guaranteed up to, let's say, 2 rupees. All right? Every bank has an internal guarantee for how much they are actually liable. So when you don't have a physical copy, let's say in a state of war, you actually might not have evidence eventually to support a fixed deposit ever exists with a bank. It can be as bad as that. So physical copies are best, I mean, in everybody's interest, because eventually it's society money, it's best to retain physical copies. If the bank is not providing them, we insist they provide receipts so that we can retain physical receipts. Why do you want to take that chance if they're available?
In fact, another thing came to my mind, that the physical receipt should be there, that any person, alumni member, if he wants to go and check out the transactions, banking transactions, he can go and have a look, inspect, and he can even ask for the FDR's physical receipt to realize that none of the people are utilizing it as a collateral. So at any given point of time, it should be available for visual inspection.
Sure.
Right?
How often are the deposits renewed?
2 years, 3 years.
Yeah. So that's it. Then it's, I think it's not, it's headache free to carry a receipt for 2 years. I mean, one receipt is not.
The Canara Bank is the nationalized bank. They have the old FDR. They
Sure.
have this written renewals with their hand, which I got renewed after.
Some banks are still doing that. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next point, point 7. This is a little long agenda point, so just bear with me. To provide an update on the ongoing legal matters with WBSS management with regard. No, I did.
Which one?
Discussions and approval of the amended bylaws 22.
No, which the order
Order's
is
changed, yeah.
changed.
Hmm.
Okay.
So you can just take it, sorry.
Huh.
So, starting again, to provide an update on the ongoing legal matters with WBSS management with regard to the Office of WARBs that was trespassed and forcibly occupied by the WBS management, wherein there was theft of the entire assets of the WELHAM Old Boys Society, which includes priceless archive documents. The society has initiated legal proceedings by way of an injunction suit as well as a criminal complaint with the Uttarakhand police. During the course of the legal proceedings, we have run into a lot of documentation which shows illegalities, violations have been perpetrated by Mr. Darshan Singh as the chairman and the WELHAM management. Subsequently, as complaint to the Registrar of Societies has been submitted highlighting these illegalities, violations, thereby explaining the vindictive nature of various complaints filed against WELHAM Old Boys Society by the WELHAM's WBSS management.
This part I'll answer. So, we first received a defamation notice. We had requested the WELHAM management to inquire into a complaint of solicitation of money. And instead of investigating the matter, I was sent a defamation notice through a lawyer. And before we could reply to that, we were sent a eviction notice. And in between somewhere, our entry was banned and none of our assets available with us. So after requesting, we finally had to go and file a police complaint, and then we had to file an injunction suit, which is pending, and 13th of May is the date, right? And when we tried to find out as to why this has been happening, it's because I feel that some of the people believe they are owners of WELHAM, and since they are owners of WELHAM, no one has the right to question them. And it was more to tell you that, listen, you only belong here, and hence we will do what we want, and we can do as much, go to the level of stealing the stuff and putting it in, and the principal has signed the copy saying office never existed, and which all of you, not one person can deny that office never existed.
You have an eviction notice, so.
Yeah, and the great part is, yeah, so the great part is that while the defamation notice, the eviction notice, and thing has been sent by registered post to 5 Circular Road. So by registered post from 5 Circular Road, it went to 5 Circular Road, and we have copies of that. And then subsequently, it's claimed that our office never existed. I'm really surprised at the level of ethics that we are currently following. And finally, after the 27th of November meeting, which was discussed that we'll de-escalate matters, and we'll hold on and maybe sit down on the table and talk.
Batch reps meeting.
Batch reps and EC meeting on 27th November, and we had a good 2.5 hours meeting. Within 4 days, we received a complaint by the lawyer stating that, please cancel the registration of the Old Boys Society.
This was sent to the Registrar of Societies?
And a copy was sent to me.
And a copy was
on I think 2nd or 3rd of December. And so while we were trying to de-escalate matters, this is the action we're saying. It feels as if the intention was never to de-escalate matters. It was just to buy time and keep us, off guard while we are trying to do other things. So finally, after requesting, I have written several letters which a lot of you might not be aware of, because the reason for that is a lot of people stated that you are discussing things on public forum. So I have written a lot of letters to the trustees and very limited office bearers, maybe 3 or 4 only, or at best I've informed the EC members. That's it. So there are a lot of letters which finally, when nothing happened and this complaint was filed, I sent that complaint to the registrar, and I'm not aware whether I have received the registrar's complaint has been sent to WELHAM. I received it yesterday, whereas I'm sure if it's been received by me in Delhi, it's been received by the school management in Dehradun. and the complaint is there. You can file an RTI and get it.
Yeah.
Or if you want, maybe you can write selectively separately to the
The WOB's office.
to the WOB's office, and we'll share it with you.
We share the complaint.
So we don't want to put it on a social platform or public platform. You write to us, and we'll send you a copy of that, because sending a small mail is anyway not a problem. WBSS management of the illegal.
Registrar of
Yes,
societies.
and the registrar has forwarded the complaint to the WBSS management, and he's sent a copy to me also, because I was the one who filed the complaint. What else is there?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, the focus of, and this is, what the president started off with, nice little sort of introduction to what he's learned about the trust, etc. The trust belongs to the school, right? This is a society of old boys. In contribution, the focus has to be the old boys and the current boys. The focus should not be the school, because the school is not a part of this society. The school is not run by this society. It doesn't have any legal links with the society. The office, and look, it's in court, but I think what is correct, and I've looked at all the papers that have been filed by the Old Boys Society, there are only 3 forms. So there is a concept of possession. There are only 3 forms that I'm aware of legal possession. One is a lease, a license, or a freehold. The society has none of these 3. Okay, and that discussion can continue in court. But let me just tell you that there is no lease, license, or freehold that the society ever had. As far as theft.
Sorry.
Yeah,
So sorry.
please, Gary.
For interrupting you. Just, aside the court,
Yeah.
between us,
Yeah.
I've not attended an AGM in a long time.
Yeah.
As old boys, we didn't have an office, or did we? I'm asking you, personally.
I'm telling you, there was no. Okay, so there was no legal possession of any part of school. That's the answer.
Yes, so you're again, all right. So the term legal, you're again complicating.
I'm not. I'm answering the question. There was no legal possession.
Did the office exist or not?
No, there was no office there. There was no legal possession of any office.
Guys, who all believe, one second, who all believe the office never existed in school? Please raise your hands. Nilofia, please click a photograph of all the people who believe. It's coming a video. No, I want.
No, the question, Gurjot, if you must ask, is how many people believe how many people believe the society had possession of an office in school? Let's have that question answered.
How many people who believe who had a possession? No, raise your hands.
Actually, this will really get nowhere. Basically, the premise is that whether there was an office or there was no office, let's assume you're saying there's an office. You've chosen to go to court with it. Let's just leave it at that. What are you doing right now? It's sub judice. Why are you saying anything? It has to be decided by the court. Do you think that arguing about it here at this level, where you've gone to court, you've made... Gujot, please, let me speak and don't get into it. The fact is that if you've gone to court, you've said 10 things. We've in reply said 10 things. I don't know whether those 10 things that you've said are correct. I don't know whether those 10 things I've said are correct. The process is sub judice. Why would you talk about it now?
Nikhil, that's fair. He's not asked the question. Right?
Okay.
I was just trying to
But I think what I'm trying to say, that's okay.
Nikhil, we are duty bound to inform the society the steps that have been taken by WBSS management and the steps we have taken.
And please, I would like to clarify here, I am here as a WOBS member. I'm not here as a school trust or board member.
Everyone here is as a member of the society. Okay, so, sorry, but I think, I don't want this discussion to go off in the direction that I didn't want to go into, right? I'm not here to tell you or tell the society about, what legal battles there are. That I think is for the society to continue to fight or not fight. For me, I think a red line is crossed when an old boy society decides to sue its alma mater. Whether that red line is justified, not justified, it does get crossed. And I think for me, that's a very serious concern. But I think the bigger objective for me, at least, is, and this is something that I've talked about, at least to the president over the years, is that we have to have scholarships for old boys. We have to have scholarships for sons of old boys. We have to have, encourage nephews of old boys to go back or whatever. We must have a mentorship program. We've talked about it. It's never been implemented. There are other things that the old boy society should be doing, focused on the old boys primarily, and then the boys of the school. In order to do that, you need a working relationship with the school. By choosing to go down a certain path where you choose to form, and go into court with school, you choose to form a certain relationship with school, you're not going to be able to achieve the basic objectives of an old boys society, which is to do something for old boys and to do something for boys. So what is it that we want to do to restore relations, to ensure that we as a society can contribute to old boys and to boys in school?
And also, I think we are at a point of juncture today that you need to figure out what is our objective as an old boy society. Are we here now to basically take over the school or say that the school should be run in a certain way? I mean, is that, and let's say that happens, then what happens then? In the meantime, you've lost the complete working relationship with schools.
So the objective, Nikhil, yeah, please.
They can speak in the mic, the guys in the, they can't hear you.
I mean, honestly, today, please, and I'm saying this with complete humility, what have we done in the last 3 years? Please look at it as a society. What have we done? Where have we come? I mean, you have a problem, some of the office bearers, I don't want to name, but some of the office bearers have a problem with everything. You have a problem with how I ran the society. You have a problem with how we ran the society. You have a problem with, we are not part of any alumni sort of associations. We were doing some golf. That's not happening. I mean, let's concentrate on positive initiatives of the society. Let's stop fighting the school. I am here because of the school. And allow me to speak.
Please go ahead.
I have a full right because, I mean, I have been associated with this from like ground and mortar, yeah. It's been like many years now. And you guys, there are things I've read about me, there are things I've read about the chairman, absolutely false. There is no, please let me speak. Please don't interrupt, let me speak. I'll just speak, then you speak, yeah, there's no problem. What, you say something, okay?
No, please go ahead.
I mean, there is like, I've read comments on Facebook and please, there must be people who criticize me here, but I mean, read comments on Facebook where people have said buildings are made so money is made. Come on, yaar, like, there are at least 20 people here who know me. You think I'm the kind of person who's made money? Say it. Raise hands.
Did they name you?
Yeah, okay, if they didn't name me, I'm sorry. Yeah, but you named the chairman. What is it that you have with the chairman? Tell me. What is the real problem?
I'll tell you what. There is transparency. That's the problem. There is accountability.
It's a trust. And you guys have, would you like to get into
Nikhil,
the fact?
Do you have an open tendering for your buildings, etc.?
What?
I
am not supposed to answer that. I'm here as an old boy. Please don't ask me questions.
In 2013, Nikhil, you
advocate what?
Let's be fair about this AGM. Uday, you said something very basic, very correct. What you said is that a line is crossed. When you go to the court. Okay, I think a line is crossed when you offer a legal notice. Is when the line is really crossed. Now I'm going and sitting in the court is a matter. The line is crossed when I'm sending a legal notice out, and that's when the line is crossed. So if you look back, मैं दे रहा हूँ. All right. When I'm throwing a notice at you, is I believe when the line is crossed. So we all have our lines drawn, and our view on when they are crossed. Yeah.
We are at a point in the society right now where everyone has crossed lines. Yeah. I'm not saying that. The point is who started it, who threw the first stone. I don't know really. I mean, that is something that we have to ask ourselves. The fact is today our very existence is in jeopardy. And honestly, I'm telling you, out of all of you guys, I don't know, I've served as a president. My son has spent 8 years there, and I've served the school in my full earnest. I don't see anything prima facie really that wrong. I mean, you can today say that yeah, the school should have reached from 50 to 150 and it didn't, but it hasn't gone from 50 to 20. I promise you that. But I mean, this is not our fight to pick, yeah. I mean, there is a way to do it. Please get into that complaint that you guys, you're
Okay,
talking.
I want to really ask, and Lokesh is also wanting to answer some questions. Lokesh, can you tell me what's the objective of the society?
Isn't it welfare of WELHAM?
No, not the first thing about the society. Can I finish now? No, you don't do this. I'll finish. So, I mean, I have been, most of you know me. We started working on the society. I mean, I've been in the EC since Mr. Gandhari's time. The primary objective, repeatedly stated, was camaraderie between the alumni, getting them together. The second objective was, when we get that done, to contribute towards the school, whatever best we can do towards the school. And the third objective was, after that, whatever else we can take on social causes and work on that. These were the three primary objectives which Mr. Kandhari repeatedly used to insist. I know some people sitting here who were with me in the EC at that time also. And I think we had done a fabulous job till 2-3 years back. We had, from 2002, I mean, sorry to say, the numbers that you're quoting are also wrong. Right now, you said the corpus has gone from 70 lakhs to some 2 crores. I have the balance sheet here for 2015. Our corpus was already more than that. So I don't know where those figures are.
Please tell me.
I'll just share it with you. Let me finish. Let me finish.
By the way, let me just correct you. You never had a balance sheet till 2015.
No, that's wrong.
That's
again wrong. That's again wrong. We'll come to that. I'm carrying everything with me today. All the things that you have been pointing out and saying on social media or emails.
You did not file the balance sheet.
We have everything, yeah. It's audited. Even if it's not, for example, technically it's not filed, the money was there. It's there in the balance sheets, and the balance sheets were audited.
Also, what you're conveniently ignoring is that this, whatever the 70, 80 to 2.5, is primarily because the school was helping.
Let me finish. I think I'll come to that. So from 2002, where we really took charge, till 2015, the corpus had grown 8 times, from some 14 lakhs to over 2 crore rupees. Okay. No, I have the figures. All the balance sheets, mind you, are in between. There were a lot of procedural lapses, not lot, a few of them. Couple of years we were not able to file the returns and stuff like that, so we lost some refund. All this was minuted, documented in an AGM in 2016 again, and you are bringing this up again. It's all right. But coming back to the main point, who crossed the line, as you were saying? This propaganda started about 2 years back on social media, bad-mouthing the school, buildings are being broken. This is all picking the negative points. I was very vocal on social media trying to tell you all, stop, don't do that, whoever was doing it. But it carried on. When I was voicing, I was made out to be a stooge of the school, a stooge of Mr. Darshan Singh. That, anyway, I mean, I don't have issue with that, whatever, I'm always for the school. But the primary purpose, the whole why WOBS existed was for the school, but in 2 years we've done nothing but school bashing. Why did school send you a legal notice? Before that, you started writing emails to the trustees saying something is not right with the school, ethics committee is not there, something happened. There was a very clear email from the chairman, which we refused to share with the rest of the alumni, that Gurjot, we really appreciate the alumni, we are, blah, 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 but kindly note that this is not your role. You are not to be interfering in the way school is functioning. Yeah, he mentioned it, that we do consider the alumni, but still you paid no heed to that. You carried on with your negative propaganda. Now tell me something, when someone is constantly yelling at me or abusing me or offending me, won't I react? Well within my legal rights, I still have not done anything illegal, but I will react. And now we are bearing the brunt of that from the school.
Please, which
What time can we respond to?
Anytime. Yeah, just Amit wants to talk.
See, guys, I'll tell you what.
Let him, Lama.
Just 10 seconds. An old boys society member approaching any of us, okay, as caretakers of the old boys society, and says that he is being asked to provide is that a matter for the president to address?
No, I'll answer.
I'll tell you something. Before I have been president. And I know the person you're also referring to who made this complaint, right? Before I would take it public, I would do my own judgment, and there is no merit in that at all.
Which is something for the chairman to decide.
No.
It's not for you to raise.
What are you saying? Are you saying I get a complaint as a president and a written complaint and I'm supposed to do nothing about it?
Did you talk to the gentleman properly?
Yes.
Did you do your own this thing?
Listen.
Please pass.
Yeah.
No, you have your line. Please do.
Just one line. This is the first AGM ever that I'm attending. But somebody said, I don't remember who, that we feel that a line has been crossed here. And the line that was defined was Okay, the line that was defined was that the WOBS is fighting the school. May I ask, is the school synonymous with the management? To my mind, it is not. I have spent a lifetime in education. The school means a lot more than just the management. Much, much more. And if you ask me, if you were to point to a body that can be defined as a school, it is the boys, or rather the students. I'm saying boys because it's WELHAM Boys School. It is the boys, past and present. And you look up the definition of a trust, the trustees hold, they are in office, they are answerable directly to the beneficiaries. And nobody can question the fact that the old boys are beneficiaries of the school. In case of a public trust, which ours is, the beneficiaries are a pretty nebulous lot, unlike in the case of a private trust. The beneficiaries are a nebulous lot in the case of a public trust, but in that nebula, the brightest spot are the old boys. Does anybody want to refute that? No, sorry. Coming back to my old point, I went off on a tangent. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I went off on a tangent. The main thing I meant was that the WOBS has not been battling the school. They've been battling the management. And to me, the management is not synonymous with the school. Thank you very much.
Hi.
Go ahead, sir.
Rahul Kohli, class of 1970.
75, sir. To
Well,
make it easier.
75 for your reference, 70 for my reference. Yeah. This whole discussion seems to have started from what is the essence and the reason for an old boys society. It's reflected in its name. It's an old boys society. It is not a WELHAM School Society. The WELHAM School Society is a separate body. That is a trust.
Yes, sir.
Now, whether you feel you have rights upon the trust, the matter is now sub judice. That matter will be decided in court. There is no point creating bad blood amongst ourselves by saying you are wrong, who is crossed a line, who is not crossed a line. I think civility and how we deal with each other is the essence of any society. You know, when we speak of another member of our society, it is incumbent upon us to be civil. It is a reflection of who we are, how we speak to another member of our own society. If you don't agree with someone, well, so be it. And you have that right. But you have no right to be uncivil. You have no right to be rude. Yeah. Now we come to this whole thing.
Go ahead, sir.
Now I'm just I am coming at this from a slightly different perspective at the moment. Yeah, as you said, I have served as president of the Doon School Old Boys Society. I was president till about a year and a half ago. And I was on the EC for 10 years before that, and then before that I worked with, so I have watched the evolution of societies. I have watched how an alumni society works with a school. And you are quite right, sir. A school is a school, and it is not the old boys. A school is the children that are studying there right now. Yeah. Once you leave, you become part of the alumni. Once you are there, you are part of the school.
Sir, can I ask you a question, sir?
Please.
Sir, you're from Doon School.
I am. I'm also from WELHAM.
Yeah. So, Doon School is being run by whom?
It is run by a society.
And
the society is called the Indian Public School Society.
Right, sir.
There are 175 members in that society, and you have an option to go up to 200 members. Yeah, that is how the school is
who
run.
are those members, sir?
They are 75% of the members of that society are members that are chosen from the Doon School Old Boys Society. They are selected from the
So
Doon,
alumni
and there
basically.
are absolutely 75%.
75% are alumni running
Yes.
the Doon School.
Yes, you're right. I don't dispute that, and that's
Sir-
how it
sir,
is.
few-
Now tell me
few
one thing.
things
No,
I
no,
wanna
no,
ask
no,
you,
no,
sir.
no, no, no.
I wanna
Gurjot,
ask you because it's very.
Gurjot, I'm. You've interjected.
sir.
I've
Please, sir.
answered
Please
your
go
one
ahead.
question. Yeah. I'm not here to fight on behalf of anybody. I'm actually here to see that we come to some sort of understanding, and that the school and the Old Boys Society begin to function as one coordinated body. This, where it has descended to, this relationship has descended to, is disturbing. It's disturbing for any member of the alumni. Whether you agree with what the school has done, whether you agree with what the Old Boys Society has done, everybody is disturbed by the point of what has happened. I mean, honestly, I at random, are you not disturbed at the state of affairs? I'm not saying one is right or the other. I'm just saying, does it not disturb you?
I feel sorry. I'm not
Yes.
disturbed. I feel sorry for
The way we are at the moment.
not where we are, with way things are going with WSS.
Yes. Well,
Anyway,
school
sir,
society.
sir,
Okay.
okay,
So
please.
now we're coming back to this. The trust is a separate body. It is a legal entity in its own right. The matter is sub judice. No matter how much we fight in this room, there is nothing you are going to be able to do outside a court of law. The matter is.
So matter is sub judice only for the office,
Yes.
not for the other things. It's
The
not sub
other-
judice
see,
for
you
the
have-
violations, illegalities,
you
or the
have-
theft.
You have no locus standi with the trust. Why not try and build a positive and productive relationship with the school?
So again, that's the question first. Who's the school?
You know, it's going to come to a point where there will be no way forward.
Sir,
If
so-
you say that he is not the school, he is not the school,
Sir,
the point is the trust is the school, whether you like it or not.
Sir, Doon School has.
Listen to his perspective. It's a new perspective he's getting on.
I know.
You cannot draw a parallel with the Doon School.
Why
They
not,
are-
sir?
You not. Because they are separate bodies altogether. WELHAM Girls' School is a separate body. Draw your parallel with WELHAM, perhaps. Doon School is administered differently. It was created differently. WELHAM Girls' School, WELHAM Boys' School. Yeah.
Right, so it just came to mind because you said something. And ironically, in all things mentioned, right, there's a long date she created. The only other school other than Welham she mentioned was the Doon School. And I was slandered for it. I put up something that I got from there and said that you know, the school should continue
Provide scholarships.
provide scholarships for the child even after he has left school, and it said something about going to the Doon School. So I think that this
Going to the Doon School.
right,
That is
right.
because she was a dame at Doon
So I'm just
before
saying,
she came to WELHAM.
Yeah,
She
the-
spent 2 years in Dehradun
sure.
at the Doon School as a dame. Yeah, dame is well, is a matron. Yeah.
What I saw there was the relevance that an old boy had in Miss Oliphant's life. You know, it didn't see an end because
No, that was for a
old boy
particular person who was serving the school, yeah, his kids. The gentleman who was looking after.
I will just quote. I'll just quote
Not
from.
for every.
She very clearly
Lama-
in the
Lama-
deed.
He mentioned the people also.
She very clearly in that deed spoke about Welhamites.
One second, Lamba. I'll just.
Welhamites who moved on. Okay. It's her interest.
No, Vikrant,
It was not
one second,
objective.
I'll quickly end this. I'll just quote
I'll
from
share
her
it
trustee.
again.
I'll just quote from a trustee. He says that I hereby direct that, as when the funds are available, my trustees shall grant scholarships to deserving boys to receive free education at the WELHAM Boys Preparatory School, and thereafter at Doon School or any other recognized public school in India. The choice of such boys and benefits they shall see shall be in absolute discretion of the trustees.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
No, just your point on the Doon School.
Yes. I think we can. Let's get back to the. Yes. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I cannot tell you how to run your house. I'm not a member of your house. I can't tell you how to run it.
So,
You can raise concerns about it, and
so,
the appropriate forum will take concerns to those people.
sir, that is the question. Whose house is it? That is. No, if I'm saying it's my house, whose is it? Whose is it?
Whoever it might be, it's not yours.
No, it's not whoever, sir. Whose house is it? So you are saying trustees are owners of WELHAM? Okay. So,
Actually, I think what we should do in this AGM, honestly, I mean, one of the major outcomes of this AGM should be that we should decide our way forward. Are we going to continue fighting the school, or we are not?
The way forward is very
That's what we are here for.
The way forward
Let's
is-
decide that.
The way forward is very clear. There are members of our society, the WOBS, who also sit on the board of governors. They have to be our voices. They take our concerns to the thing, and then they come back to us and say, this was the concern, this is the response.
I mean, did you?
So the question is, sir, again this point, that I want to ask, in fact, Nikhil and Lokesh, are you there at the Trust or Board of Governors by virtue of your own personal eminence or as representatives of
That is again none of your business. That's for the trustees to decide why they made us the.
why you claim to be representing us in the board?
Sorry?
You claim to be representing us at the board?
Unfortunately, we are
Represent whom?
The Old Boys Society.
No.
You are by personal eminence.
That is for the trustees to decide. You're missing the whole point. When I say I'm an old boy, I'm on the board.
So
I
basic-
was on the board. I'm on the board.
So basically,
I will voice all the concerns. Tell me something. When I was on the board, you had an issue with this, whatever letters you wrote. Did you once approach any of us before making things public?
I mean, I'm
Did
sorry.
once you call me and say, I've got this complaint from Mr. So-and-so teacher, did you? Was it ever any of you once came to me, called me or mentioned, this is what I'm saying, this is what shows the intent. The intent was not to resolve the matter. If you wanted the intent was to just do this, what's happening?
Mr. Lokesh, there are
Let me finish now, let me finish. For example, you received an email from an old boy that there is some issue, right? Now you want to raise that issue to the board members. You think I am on the board because I was an alumni. You are my batchmate, a dear friend. Did you once ever call me and say we received this email? Won't you do, 90% of the people here would do that. If he would receive something, even he might just call me and say, look, who I've heard this. But never.
When I sent you
I
email,
see it on a
No.
Facebook story or an email to 100 people, yeah. So you have to get,
Facebook, where
I'm
did you
just,
put
let
it
me
on
finish,
Facebook?
let me finish. You have to get this intent right, guys. Whenever there's an issue with school and if you really feel for the school, now matter will get resolved. Till date, I'm telling you, 20 years since 2002, more than 50 old boys have called me. Introspect, yeah, why is the school reacting the way it is? It's thanks to us, yeah.
It's not the school, it's one gentleman reacting.
No, I mean, for me, it's the same thing, yeah.
No,
for
it's
me.
not. It's not.
So even then it was one gentleman then, na? He was responsible for giving us a bigger office and all that.
And you refused
Same
to get
person.
You refused to get it renovated.
What?
You refused to get it renovated.
Oh yeah, now you keep, so he gave us the office and he refused to get it renovated, guys.
Yes, Lokesh, it is on record. It's on record.
Fair enough, yeah, so you can't just
It's
be
on record, by
pinpointing
the
the
way.
negatives.
No. You fought hard. You fought hard to make sure the office does not get renovated. Anyway, Uday Wale wants to talk, please.
So I hope to all the people here and people who are on Zoom getting this clear that it's not just that the school is against the alumni. I'm very sure I've had long, detailed conversations with the chairman. They are all for the alumni. It's just a select few people who chose to take on the school. And what I request is, if you have an issue with the school, take it up personally. Yeah. You have an issue with Mr. Darshan Singh, please take it up separately. My only request is leave WOBS alone. Yeah. WOBS was not made to fight the school. We've had a fabulous time. If you have an agenda, please drive it personally. Leave the old boy society alone, guys. That's all I have to say. I hope we can do that in this AGM.
I'll give answer 1 second.
Thank you,
No,
Lokesh.
no.
So
Uday,
I just
Uday,
like
just
to
hold
say
for a
one
second.
thing.
I just want to give answer to that. Says, I will take it up personally if the properties of WOBS are my personal properties. They're not. Till the time the properties are of Old Boys Society and I'm the president, I will take it up on behalf of the society.
Okay.
And now
So
I can take it. Yes,
Okay,
yes,
but I think
I will.
I think
I
let's
will.
not get into.
I will take it up
let's
personally.
not get into a
Yeah.
get into a shouting
Yeah,
match.
I will.
So I think all I'd like to say.
Just 1 minute. Let's not take it personally.
Yeah.
Anything. You know, I remember somewhere around, it was 81, 82 or something. Am I right, Nikhil? We went to Darshan Singh's house. That's 70s. I think much before that. 7, 8 of us. Marg was there. Myself. And this society was to be formed. And we formed it. Now, let's not take anything personally, whether whatever is there. End product should be the benefit of all. The boys, the society, who's running it, and I think fighting will not reach anywhere. You know, because court cases, you know, go linger on for 20 years, 2 decades, 3 decades.
Rajan sir,
Yeah.
if all of us believe
Yeah.
that we are working towards the benefit of the school,
Yeah.
so if the destination is the same,
Yeah.
right, sir, the paths can differ, right? But you cannot have people coming from opposite directions when you have to head to a certain destination. So what we see today is that the directions, path from here, from Noida to Gurgaon, you can go via Faridabad, you can go via whatever road, Ring Road, and right. But one party cannot be heading towards Jaipur and the other one towards Dehradun. So that's the question.
No.
That if we believe.
No, I agree there.
Okay. So
Have we ever tried one-to-one
okay.
with maybe Nikhil or Darshan Singh or
Let
whatever?
Uday say something.
Sorry, I just. Yeah.
When they received this complaint from the old boy, and eventually they tried to connect with the chairman Uday, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think he made several attempts. I think the difference is, especially in the chairman's capacity as an ex-teacher, he should have spared a minute to
Chairman wasn't a teacher.
No,
Chairman. Okay,
no,
1 second. So look.
Ex-alumni. He
Yeah,
means
yeah.
ex-alumni.
No, he was never
He's
a
not,
teacher.
he's not.
No, yes.
No.
Okay, so look, I think, sorry, I think,
Uday, go ahead, yeah.
you know, the primary objective, and I think, look, we can all have esoteric discussions over what the school is, whether it's in my heart or whether it's on physical ground. There are certain ground realities of a trust, the school, the alumni, everyone. What I'd like to do, and I'd like to propose, is that, you know, given the importance that an alumni society has for the old boys and for the boys of the school, there must be an effort to resolve all differences with the school, right? And I'd like to propose that, you know, there must be an effort to resolve everything. There are several old boys on the and you know, you Gurjot may personally dislike me, but that's irrelevant, because I think what we're here for is for the betterment of the school as we consider it to be, and the old boys. And I think there are several old boys on the board and the trust, right? So we can run through the list. There's Darshan Singh, there's Ramesh Kohli, there's Rahul Kohli, there's Nikhil Kriplani, there's me, there's Mohinder Bedi. The point is that there are points of contact that are always available. But regardless, we have to move to a system where relations between WOBS and school are restored, come what may, right? That is what just simply has to happen in the next 6 months.
I agree
And we need to get it done, because we're not going to be able to achieve our objective of helping old boys and boys if that doesn't happen.
Uday, I agree with you. Yeah, you want to say?
Coming back to this.
So, Rahul sir,
I still haven't finished.
Rahul
you
sir,
know, you cut
there's a
me
lot of
short.
points we
I
have
know,
to.
but
know.
I'm just one little short, gentle point. Yeah,
Sure,
we
sir,
became. What does an old boys society do? Over the last 2 years, while everybody has been on Zoom, what has, since you did bring it up, and I've tried to keep the Doon School Old Boys Society out of this, but I'll just drop just 2 little points in. One thing we did is every month over the last year, 2 years, we helped the current boys of the school draft their applications for college. We set up Zoom calls. We had boys who went to Stanford, boys who went to Harvard, boys who were at Delhi University, boys who were in Bombay University. How boys should draft how they should draft their applications. That is critical to the functioning of the school. Yeah. Over the last 2 years, what we have done as an old boys society is we have begun a corpus, it's about 1 crore of rupees today, for post-school scholarships, as you have mentioned. Yeah, we have begun a system of post-school scholarships only for boys that were on 100% need-based scholarship to Doon. Now, this is the job of an old boys society. This is how you empower the students that are currently in school and the ones that have just left school. This is what a society does, man. It does not sit and fight. And now the Doon
So
school...
we have to sit to fight,
no,
sir?
No, you don't.
You're not allowing us a seat.
No.
We have to sit in a room to fight, sir. Currently, you are fighting from outside the building.
Well, I'm happy to sit with you. I mean, there are 1, 2, 3
sir,
board members sitting over here.
Sir.
We're here.
But sir,
we are here. And we are here to resolve matters. We're not here to fight. I started off right in the beginning saying civility and a desire to sort matters out is critical. And that is why we're here. Now, one second, unless the old boys society is not recognized by the school, how are you going to help the children? If your society, as now this new VOSA thing, yeah, if the society, WOBS is not recognized by the school, you have no access to the children in the school. How are you going to help them? How are you going to help them with mentorship? How are you going to help them with what are they called? Internships. Over the last 3 years, about 400 children have had internships at Doon. Every summer, any boy who wants from the 10th class onwards, so we would call it A form. I'm not quite sure how the latest, the forms are now at WELHAM. But everybody, 10th class onwards, has a internship there. He wants it. We have an entire panel of old boys who sit down and say, yes, we will help you with internships. We help with internships, we help with college applications, we help with post-school scholarships. This is the job of an old boys society.
Sir, I agree with you. Can we move on to other points?
One thing, please. Mr. Kohli,
Sir.
my name is Rajiv Nagaria. I'm an old teacher of WELHAM Boys.
Nagaria. Mr. Nagaria, hi.
One second, just hold on, sir.
Thank you very much. You've given me a lot of food for thought in terms of the way ahead for WOBS, the things that you've outlined, internships, scholarships and all. But I have also understood from everything that you have said and from everything that so many others have said, that it seems to me that the WELHAM Old Boys Society has only responsibilities and no rights. The two must come together. Rights without responsibility is gundagardi. And responsibility without rights is slavery. I'm sorry. I disagree. I disagree. Sir, we can go on and on and on forever. But one thing that I've understood very clearly, one thing, may I finish? May I finish?
Yes, sir. Yes,
one thing that I've understood very clearly, and on which count I agree completely with Mr. Kohli, is this is not going to get us anywhere. Okay? A fool is someone who does the same things in the same way and expects different results. I'm counting myself as being in that category. I think we need to adopt a completely different way. That's up to the society to leave it. I'm here, not really by invitation, because I am a member, and I chose to attend this meeting because I understood that a lot of important discussions were to take place, but I've clearly understood. One person will throw an allegation, somebody else will counter it, it will ultimately degenerate to a slanging match. If you don't take care, it will probably descend to blows. It's not going to take us forward. My humble suggestion to you is to finish the meeting with the remaining agenda points, because for everything that you say, the others will have something to say too, and you cannot resolve it. That's what I've understood very clearly. I had understood that if I go there, I might see things getting resolved across the table. Then it's not going to happen that way. I'm very clear in my head about that. Very, very clear. I am. I may be wrong, but it's not going to get resolved that way. So I would suggest that we leave all these points aside and we get on with the routine business of this.
Agreed,
Yes?
sir. I in fact want to say that since the people are here, okay, Raji, you go ahead here first.
I think, Gurjot, all of us are here. We all wish to know what is the way forward. And also Rohit. Rohit is a president now, I believe. Congratulations, Rohit. We wish to Mr. Jaiswal, Uday, and Pavitra. What we expect sitting here is how you can bridge up this gap for us.
I think the first way can be done
That
is
is-
that
yeah,
I'm
nahin.
leaving if some people felt that I have been more vocal than
No,
the
no,
others.
no. You have.
Listen-
Let me
listen-
finish,
li-
Gurjot. See, you have the courage. You have done a phenomenal job. We all know this, and it's a good thing you have done. Your way must be not the correct path of going there. But let me tell everybody one thing here. On social media, before you raise a finger at anybody, Lokesh ho gaya, Nikhil, whatever it is, these people we know since we were in White House, we know I'm sorry, Uday, Darshan Singh sir, we don't know what they have done, what they have not, let the court decide. But, amongst ourselves, raising fingers, whatever, X person, Y person, all that should stop immediately is one thing. Thirdly, we expect from you a way forward. How can you bridge up the gap? And it's very important, we should know what our role is for the alumni. Let the school run on its own, or if some people are interested, they have spare time to, do something for the welfare of the school, they should do. There is no harm in that.
So, Rajveer-
But the entire purpose amongst ourselves is getting defeated. I'm sure Miss Oliphant wouldn't be happy. She's resting in peace. She would never be happy by what all of us are doing here together. This is the wrong way. We should all sit together. I again request each one of you, we should all, sit together. Like Kohli sir has said, I again say you have done a good job. You have given us a light in the tunnel, We don't know how we'll reach there, how it will happen. Let it happen in due course of time.
Rajveer, one way to do it is,
Let's have
so you said
let's
the
have
way forward.
let's have opinions, but the only way is, that we all sit across. At the court, we'll sit for next 80, 100 years,
No.
We'll make it no, I'm telling you.
I can't sit in the court for next 80 years.
It will happen. It will happen
Rajveer,
that way.
listen to me. One way of doing it is, there's a different way that you can call me personally, right? There's another way that you can do it officially. Today, I'm handing over, the new team is in, they'll come in, and I'm sure that they can be invited officially and sit across the table.
Okay, let me finish, please. I request you. Also, what valid points I feel, I'm requesting each one of you, the old boys, we deserve an office in the school campus. I request all the board members, Nikhil sir, all of you, whoever, I think let's go back, let's get an office for the old boys. It's very important, sir. Please look into it again. Whatever bygones are bygones, Kohli sir, let's forget it. Let's move ahead. Let me finish, sir. Please, I request you, sir. Yeah, I'll just finish, sir. Second is, whoever our president is, today it's Rohit, tomorrow whoever becomes, and let him get the chair at the whatever your board of, your governors or the society that is running the school. I think that's a valid point. There is no harm in that.
Perfect.
And it's a very good thing. If anybody disagrees, please do it right away. If you feel my president should not be there, then who should be there? Does everybody agree? Khattar, I want your yes first. Yeah, so if if so I want my president there, I want my office.
I think you solved
One second. No, sir, not the, sir, hang on. But listen, but let me finish. Oi, whoever this guy, number 2. 1 second. Sir, 1 second, Rajan, sir. And the third thing is, raising fingers. We have been together, yes, in wood seats. We are, ek nut, yaar, wait, hang on. Hold on, listen first. Keep shut. Raising finger at Lokesh, at whatever Nikhil, this is wrong. And Bumpy and Manavjit, you boys of Hapod, you stay in discipline. Both of you, it's very important. You guys do your own work, yaar. You have your own businesses to run. What are you doing for Miss Oliphant? Are you Miss Oliphant's nephew? Who are you? You're from SGS family. Don't get into all this. You do your own business and let capable people run the school. If you can support the school from outside, it's very important. No, I agree. Oberoi, I'm coming. Let me finish. Rajan sir,
Rajveer, this gentleman, let him speak here. He's been raising his hand.
No, 1 second.
Rajveer, you have to come and snatch the mic.
No,
please.
don't. If you snatch, wait.
Last 30 seconds. Guys, please. Guys.
And Gurjot.
1 second.
Let,
yeah.
Wait. What need a points to
Rajveer,
cover?
please, yeah. Quickly.
Also, the school chairman, like all of us are saying, people are saying he should have a tenure, fix his tenure. Yeah, what's the harm? We don't have an issue. Yeah, let's fix it.
Can I address this now? 1 minute. I'll just take, please, all of you are
Yes, sir.
Very simple.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the only
Take the mic. They can't hear you. Online.
The only thing I can say right now is I can just put myself in the shoes of a new president. And I can tell you what I would do. I would just stand down with every offensive action that I'm doing against school. And let the relationship build. It will build. But if you're going to tell today the school that after the last 3 years of this, whatever has gone on, that, we are going to stand down if you give us a seat on the board and if you give us an office, I don't think that's please be fair, I don't think that's going to happen. So the fact is that if today I was taking over this presidentship, and which I did a couple of years back, and we were at some points like this, I'll just give you a small example. Mr. Lahiri is not alive anymore. He was very anti-old boys at some point of time. We used to wait outside his house with folded hands and tell him that, you need to get us in, or you need to come for the parties and all that. The fact is the school is the main, like the umbilical cord for me. For me, if it's WOBS, VOSA, I'm an alumni. If I get disillusioned with WOBS, I'll go to the school as an alumni. And I'm telling you, this is not because I'm on the trust. I've been going to the school before I was on the board. I've put my son there. I have no problems with the school. I love the school. I can sort of vouch for it. If there's anyone who loves the school here, I love it as much. You guys have seen me over the years. Point is that today, as a new president, and I'm suggesting this to you, the only way forward is please stand down. It's just everything will happen over a period of time. Office, board, everything will happen. It was happening. That's how I came on the board. Now, Gurjot is laughing because at some point of time he's made this comment that I'm a yes man. So, I mean, it's all right. I mean, everyone has sort of, he has a comment on me, that's fine. And I think also in this meeting, we should hear from you. Because
hear from me because
yeah.
it's going to be 2 years of hearing.
Yes,
from me.
but you have to take us forward. Yeah, the fact is we have to know where do we stand.
No, first we have to give an update on what is going on, Nikhil.
I'm just giving you my suggestion. I'm just giving you my suggestion as a past president, as an alumni.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sir, hello. Hello.
We'll quickly first.
Sir, can I come over there? If you give me, yeah. Sir, my name is Faisal Ansari. Hello, sir. I only in this room. Can I converse in Hindi because it's been past 4 years I have not spoken in English. So I feel this is my first appearance for AGM. So मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ. Hello, sir, Gurjot sir. I remember him only because मैंने इनको हर समय मतलब Facebook वगैरह हर जगह और live देखा है. And I can remember his face थोड़ा बहुत. So, अगर मुझे कुछ मेरी बात बुरी लगे तो you can stop me speaking. मतलब मुझे मना कर सकते हैं कि आपकी बात बुरी लग रही है. So I just want to say one thing. We should remember our motto. What is our motto? From strength to strength. Is that हमारा motto क्या है? हाँ हिंदी में. हाँ स्कूल का motto है. So we are from school only. हाँ we are in but we matlab, so quickly. So I just want to say one thing. We should change this name from WELHAM Boys Old Society to WELHAM Boys Family. From मतलब allegations लगाने से क्या होगा? We should come together once again. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि whoever is the president, जो भी रहे, बस सब चलता रहे as a family और अच्छा रहे. बस. That's it.
Thank you very much. Okay, we quickly get back to the points because I think we are not going to finish. Sir, Mike, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, going forward, we are on point number 8 now.
Yeah, so I just had a couple of things to say, like if things are not aligned well, so what we need to do is we need to align things, we need to hear everyone out. And what I see where the main difference lies is that, everyone has a right to be heard. Even the WOBS society as an alumni association has a right to be heard. So we can have some constitution or some sort of a thing like that where, the rules are defined. That fine, the WOBS is there, the board is there, the trustees are there who are running it, the whole organization is there. But what we cannot deny is the right to be heard. If anyone is saying something right, and it needs to be heard, there needs to be an action or a reciprocal. It is, sir. It is. That's the whole point, sir. So then that's as good as bullying, right?
Yes.
So if there is an association existing and you are saying that we are not existing, I mean today we are here in the that is no, that's exactly the point. So who are you? Then the conflict is still there. Then it doesn't end. So then let it go on. We are here to resolve.
So the court is only for the
so
office.
we need to be heard. The right things need to be
Office, that's
taken
it.
care of.
Yes, nothing else.
And that is how the conflicts will get resolved and aligned.
But
That
definition
is
is
how
notice.
that is how even the bigger generations work. This is not just how a school works. I am talking about first, second, third generations of maybe even the Tata family or the Reliance family or even bigger organizations than them. That's how the things work. Everyone has a right to be heard, and we need to have a constitution of what the roles and responsibilities are. Otherwise, this will just stay like this.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, please, we got a lot of points to cover, so I'm just moving on to the next one. The next point is to submit for discussion and approval the amended bylaws of 2022 of WELHAM Old Boys Society. This will be sent as a separate email since the file is too large, and then we'll be having a discussion on that. And
I'll just quickly tell you the quick changes. One of the changes is that we had, of course, so I'll just tell you the changes in the last 5, 7, 8 years, and I might be wrong with the sequence of it because we've amended it a couple of times. Okay, so we put everything online. So the thing is that this has been on and it's been left. If we had an AGM in 2020, we would have had it. Today it is 1.5 years, and people say I haven't gone through it. Then there's something. And by the way, they were highlighted. So basically, what has been added is that of course, there's a cooling off period for the president, right? Today, the president cannot directly contest. He has to be for 2 years outside any body, right? Okay. So that's what I'm saying. So Manavjit, since you have got the changes, please tell me. No, so the thing is, another thing is the president now can be requested for disciplinary action, and vice president also. So if there's something wrong, people can actually hold them responsible. So that's one change. So basically, you don't want the bylaws passed right now. get the. Just take the mic.
Mic is required. Oh, sorry. So there's a very simple solution to this entire problem. And to that extent, I think you're right about this. We can't sort of argue it out here unless we are clear about what you really want, what you don't want. So if there is some change that everybody is suggesting, I mean, I think there's some confusion about what the original bylaws were and what the changes are now. So I don't think anybody can really rattle off all the changes like this. It's not going to happen. So apparently this was.
No, but we had already.
Yeah, we had done this.
We have done this. By the way, what you are asking for, we had done this. We'd highlighted.
There is software for blacklining. I suggest.
We had done this, by the way. No.
I suggest that you circulate.
No, Lokesh, we have done it.
No, one second.
You in fact gave suggestions also, if you remember, right?
I suggest whatever the bylaws are,
You had suggested, right?
One second. Circulate. There is something known as blackline. Okay, it's just software. You circulate the changes from the previous bylaws to the current bylaws. Send it to everyone. Allow people to pass the resolution by circulation. Do e-voting. Pass it or not.
No, the thing is, Uday, the thing is that there are a lot of changes in languages also. So the essence, you know.
Don't you have to tell people what the changes are? Do a black line. Even if the entire black line highlights the entire document,
By the way,
you want there to be
you
a
have both the
valid
bylaws with
acceptance
you.
of.
You have both the bylaws with you.
It is not possible for people to look at documents and understand the changes unless you do a black line.
Gurjot, I'll just point out one thing. The problem with the present one that you had sent on the mail. If you could have page 8, clause 7, 7.2. The members to be selected, page 8, I think, point 7, 7.2. Yeah, absolutely. It's the 7.2 says the members to be selected in accordance with clause 525. Now there's no clause 525 to my understanding.
I would suggest that we take this on in another meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't do it today.
Call for an EGM if you want to make before the next. I think what
Secondly,
we can do is.
and secondly, there is no provision for an extraordinary general meeting. I could not see it. If there is, then maybe I've skipped it. So there has to be a provision for an EOGM. EOGM, extraordinary general meeting. हाँ अच्छा है ठीक है
General meeting and extraordinary general meeting of the society shall be convened by the secretary if the executive committee resolves to convene such a meeting.
Number 13?
There is, by the way. Yeah.
Extraordinary, okay, I skipped it then.
It doesn't matter. Some things can happen here.
Yeah, that's okay.
Everyone's been asking me, sir, they want to highlight it or a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a problem. There's a problem over this. I don't think there can be an issue. This can be circulated again.
Yeah, later. And we pass today.
He fights for elections for vice presidency again.
You sent a memorandum. Then certain changes were suggested. You asked for suggestions. I give my suggestions. And then what they are saying is you want one MOA passed. And there's an old MOA. The changes have to be highlighted, not my suggestions.
A person can be president only once. I would like this minute that I really oppose that a person can be re-elected.
I oppose, and I'd like it
please,
minuted.
please put
Huh?
it. We'll put it.
Yeah,
No, no,
that
we'll
a
put it.
president, no, it'll have to be advised, and you'll have to
Yeah.
send out.
This is being minuted.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rao, you're saying that somebody who's elected should not be elected again.
Absolutely not. Not as a president. He cannot possibly come back as president again.
Just a cooling off period.
No cooling off period. Under no circumstances. You've done your tenure. You've done your thing. Help from the outside. Create a collegium of presidents like we have. You have one. Okay, I stand corrected. But create a collegium of presidents. Let the collegium of presidents be a separate body that interacts with the current president.
Fine.
I don't think there should be an issue on this. We can circulate it again.
No issue. You see, Prashant,
Just-
it was pending. Lokesh, can we move on?
This only on another point, I mean, I've gone through. It says that the president can nominate 4 EC members on the EC, right? I'm coming to that. See, earlier we had an issue, we didn't have enough EC members, no, not alumni were opting. Now we've reached a situation where we have X amount of seats and more people want to be on that. So the president should be allowed to nominate EC members only when we don't have enough EC members to fill in this seat. If elected members are there.
All that you can suggest in the.
Once we recirculate,
You please put it. Yeah.
Let's go back to the
Otherwise we won't move. Yeah.
But guys, one thing, that couple of guys want to talk. Mr. Jagjit Singh has been messaging me. He wants to just have a quick word. And so is Parth Arora. So can we hear them out?
Yeah, please.
No, specifically because I took the trouble of, reading the amended ones and the one that you had confirmed earlier to me in December 15, the existing one. Yeah. Two major points that I mean, apart from the typographical, referential, and a lot of many other errors, two very basic points I've found here was that there is, of course, we had also sent out a mail on my behalf batch to consider e-voting as a discussion point for this AGM. And you had replied to me saying that that's always been in the work and we are working towards it. However, between the two copies of the existing present ones that you had confirmed and the ones that you're proposing, this very crucial point has been omitted. It has been omitted, like previously you had. No, it is, no. No.
Quickly, yeah, go on quickly. Let's not interrupt, yeah.
It used to say that e-voting was a provision in the previously existing articles, and you have removed it in the proposed bylaws here.
No.
Well, I've highlighted it. You can.
Even we have the document.
What is the point? Let's not.
My point is that, see, we as an alumni want more and more participation among ourselves. We want participation is going to increase if more and more people have a say.
No, absolutely.
More people are going to have a say in matters.
Prashant, we agree.
Let's just.
My point is that they had agreed to this previously also on email. However, it has been omitted in the draft bylaws that they have shared. So there is a difference between the talk and the walk here, which can be very alarming here. The second point.
Let's discuss this later. We'll explain why we could not.
So since we are all here, I think let's just make it simpler, Manavji.
Yeah, go on.
Now let's just talk about it objectively. Do you think e-voting is a good idea?
Yes.
All right. So now let's just understand this. How come we have so many people here today?
So many?
Yeah. Well, so less. Why? Because of various reasons, right? If you don't have e-voting and you have a system of present in voting like it is always for an AGM, don't you think you'll get more people?
No.
Why not?
Because logistically, it's not possible for people living abroad or even in far-flung places across the country to be showing up in Delhi or Dehradun on a regular basis to attend
So that
AGMs.
is-
Also, since COVID started, the government of India has also allowed e-voting as a provision in all company board meetings and everything else also. You are also have gone to the extent of conducting EC meetings on Zoom and deciding on that, and that decision making would is also happening remotely. Yeah. And when you have a concept of e-voting, you are giving people ownership to be involved in the decision making process so that they can also contribute more meaningfully. Today, most of the people are on the YouTube are just only listening here. They don't have a mechanism to influence a vote out here, be it for the election for the EC members, for the vice president, or even for more important discussions on the way forward to how it should happen. And even, for example, the Corpus Fund, one of the reasons why we have always protected the Corpus Fund is because we don't want people to be ad hocly deciding a whole, just a fistful of people deciding on what should be done for something that has been collected over the years.
Just let me react to one thing. Let's be clear about this. I brought this up not because I'm against e-voting. All right? So this is not a conversation that I'm having with you or with anybody to say e-voting should not be there. But the purpose of an AGM or the purpose of having people together is also to be able to have a discussion in person. It's very necessary. You know, after all, we're not running a company, Manavji. This is, after all, these are people who've grown up together.
You're running this is a society meeting.
Yeah, just hold on. Let me finish, Manavji. Secondly, as far as the government of India is concerned, very good. But the fact of the matter is all this is happening, all this is happening because of COVID. No, just hold on, just 1 minute, sir. Just let me finish. Let me finish. So let's not make that the norm.
No, but voting 1,000 shareholders under the company.
Sorry?
We are
all right.
We are a young we are a young body. 1 second. We are a young body. The main objective for the last 28 years, which nobody has ever disputed, is to increase interaction, networking.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
And involvement of the boys.
That's exactly what I was saying.
How am I going to feel empowered enough to be involved in decision making
you're not. I don't think people are coming just because they want to vote for an AGM. People are not coming to an AGM just because they want to vote. I mean, for example, just let me finish. Very simply, a lot of us would get together in Dehradun just to hang around with each other. Yeah? That's the purpose. Not of the AGM. One of the reasons why you had the AGM on founders was to make sure that a lot of people are there.
Yeah, but Kirtiman, how does
Let's have this discussion. Yeah, Lokesh, that's fine. We'll have this discussion. We're circulating the bylaws again.
So I just want this minuted. Can I just have a quick minute to just minute this, that we must have next AGM se pehle, we must have a provision for e-voting. Reason being, there are over 2,000 alumni members, the WOBS members, and we have about 50-60 people here. So all the decisions that are being made or taken on the behalf of 2,000 members are being taken by 50-60 people, whether it's the president elected, whether it's anything else, whether action with school. So it's important to make it
Lokesh,
all the decisions taken.
I agree with you. Listen.
So can we minute this that we must have it?
No. It's going. Listen. In
No,
fact,
what discussion?
No. Listen. No. हो गया. Listen. By the way, Manavjeet, I totally agree with you.
I know you do, and you wrote me.
Listen. By the way. Listen.
Just check that. Kirtiman, has the latest thing been?
By the way, I've written. Listen.
He has clarified this in Bachelor's meeting, if you remember.
On this issue, there are a lot of changes that people want.
Okay, fair enough.
So
no, he's made his point.
No. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something. It's just that there's no problem with e-voting. We have to have a better mechanism in place to make sure that everything is done in a correct manner. The challenges we had, and we were working on it, and unfortunately we lost a lot of the data. The fact is, there is a differentiation between ordinary members and life members. Okay, listen to me. So for that, we have to just make sure, and the WOBS app, one of the purposes was to do e-voting, because you could easily differentiate, put it and think. So the ordinary members are any and every.
You know all that,
right?
yaar, wo sab pata hai. Haan, process.
Right.
If I come on the EC, I promise you that.
I'm sorry, I think we are deviating from the topic. We
Okay.
already had this discussion.
Okay.
Let's move on with the
Okay.
bylaws later. You guys are, everybody's going to send that.
So we go to have e-voting the next time?
Yeah. It's getting minuted. So
It's all will be minuted.
so moving on to the point number 9.
My point is not about being minuted here. My point is that are we all in agreement that the next time when we are going to have a vote for anything?
Manavjeet,
We'll
we'll
put it in the bylaws, and if everyone is in agreement, we'll put it.
and there'll be a lot more points that would be coming in from the members. They are also going to be included and then recirculated again.
That's the small. His
Not for me to decide.
Not for you. His point is कि suppose till the next AGM, a possibility that these bylaws don't get approved. Then what happens in the next AGM, whether there would be an e-voting allowed or not allowed? That's his question.
One second. This will
Right
put
now.
things to rest.
So no, I tell you what.
In the
let's just vote for e-voting. Who all are in favor of e-voting? Yeah.
One second. 1 second. Lokesh, it can't happen like that. In the branch representative and EC meet, the Zoom meet, somebody had asked the same question about e-voting. Kirtiman said, legally, nothing stops us from doing e-voting.
It doesn't need to be added.
It doesn't need to be added or deleted.
Yeah.
So that settles this issue, guys.
So it is
okay.
fine.
That
It will
settles the
happen
issue.
next year,
It's
that's
only
all.
about the mechanics, how we do it.
No. The difference is you have a choice
I'm sorry.
to do
Let's not go back to this.
in the bylaws.
I'll tell you. So by the way, the challenge is not on the e-voting part. The challenge is to make sure like one second.
Actually, yeah, let's move on.
Guys, can we move on to point?
We're going to work on a new bylaw.
Before electronic voting gets adopted by everybody, it's going to get adopted by a yes or no vote for the people who are present out here. Let's take that vote now.
No. Yeah, we'll call for a AGM or EGM.
We'll call for an EGM and pass this.
So,
You say. We'll call for an EGM and pass this. Okay. Let's move on.
Okay, moving on to point 9. Given the recent developments, unilateral decision bordering the personal whims of the Board of Governors, changing the Education Board from ISC to CBSE, non-transparent and ambiguous appointments, recruitment of key management positions, including that of the principal, mandate the need to have an independent audit of the processes, finances and recruitment. As such, it becomes imperative for the WELHAM Old Boys Society has an official representative to voice the concerns and contribute ideas to the betterment of the institute.
We've discussed this.
We've
so
discussed
let's
this.
move on.
Yeah,
Let's go
because
to the next one.
basically
Let's go to
president.
the next one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please add one question.
Yes, sir.
The Council of Ministers of the Government of India is answerable as a body to the President of India, at least on paper. One question I would like all of you to ask and perhaps put it, I don't know, wherever. Who is the trust answerable to? Or are we saying that they're not answerable to anybody? They are answerable only to each other? Are the Council of Ministers answerable only to each other in the Government of India? Does
We are not part of it. You want to put it in the question? You put it. We are not discussing.
It's a part of the minutes, guys.
Part of the minutes.
Why?
I removed you from my family. You are not a association. You can't ask those questions. Actually,
No, but wait a minute. I'm a member of the WELHAM Old Boys Society. Can't I ask this question? I can ask the Prime Minister of India who is answerable to.
You are electing him. You are not electing the trust, sir.
You can't keep confusing constitutional principles.
We'll put this question and we can.
We need to decide as to
Actually,
what
we need to stop asking these questions. The problem is that.
as a society of old boys.
Also, by the way, both are. Yeah, take one more mic.
This whole thing about these, some of the questions being answered only legally, Nikhil. For example, how do we amongst us petty persons answer the question of the tenor of the chairman? Right? You can't do it. It has to be done legally. There's no other way. You think it can be heard? Even the question is obnoxious to, I mean, anybody's ears you can't ask it. How dare you ask it? You know, the BCCI is the largest governing, most powerful sports body in the world. There's a LODA panel set up and, it sliced everything from the top down bottom. The most powerful administrators in the country are down on their knees. After 6 years of being administrators in that institution, they better get home, right? 6 years, the most powerful administrators today in the sporting system of the world have to sit home in 6 years' time, okay? So the question LODA panel says is, how bloody dare you? So they put the law on their side. That's how it works. I mean, at least outside, not for us or the school, but
Okay.
yeah, just saying.
Sir, can
It is my school, my money, my trust. You can't pop into my trust 80 years later and say, hey dude, I've decided the people you have appointed as trustee are nobody. You guys buzz off. We are going to decide how your trust is. It was my school. I put the money, sir.
this discussion is never ending.
Yeah.
I completely agree with Vikrant. There are issues
Exactly.
But as far as this line is concerned, there's a very clear line.
No.
According to me, some of us believe that a trust is what it means.
So,
Trust.
finally it
Okay,
will,
okay. Just let me finish.
finally you have to look at the law of the land.
Just 1 minute. So let's not talk about the law of the land because that's a never-ending discussion. That's a never-ending discussion.
And that is
I
where
don't
we
think
are.
can have it here.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's not have that discussion.
I agree.
So let's just
So what
leave
I'm
that
saying is,
discussion
when
out.
the moment we go into trust, I say you are not going to resolve this.
So, I think during the batch reps video call on 29th November, Kirtiman made a very valid point. And let me remind everybody, it was that that if you go to court, you're going to fight and it will be endless without and everybody who is fighting court is going to be the loser of this thing. So he then had also suggested that we need to do this in a more civilized, fashion, without going the legal way.
Absolutely.
So that's exactly the point. Let's just forget this legal battle aside and let's find a way forward.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Absolutely.
See, I'll quote Kirtiman again. During the course of that meeting, Kirtiman made another point. He says there is one thing which is called legality. Okay, the other is propriety. Okay, so right now this discussion we are also having is somewhere around propriety. And let's leave the legal questions, whatever comes in this matter, let's just document it in the minutes and leave it for the time being. Let's not get into discussions on this.
Okay, moving on to point number 10. It says all heritage buildings, among other things, should be restored back to their original state. The WELHAM Old Boys Society should press for an immediate.
So basically, I just want to say something. These are the points given by people, and a lot of the language is the same as been so. So it's so.
The next point.
No, what were we in agreement with this point? So we can raise these questions, but whether they do it or not, it's the choice, right? Yeah. So that's. No, the Kirtiman is not saying that. Please. Yeah, that ends it. That's ended. That's ended.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. So another point was number 11 was. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Moving on to number 11, WELHAM Old Boys Society should request from Mr. Kandhari's cottage to be utilized as WELHAM Old Boys Society office headquarters to revive trust and camaraderie. We made a request.
If it's not been made, then we'll make it. Yeah?
We'll make a request. Yeah. Yeah. The next.
There's no stopping.
Yeah. The next point is the roles of presidents, ex-presidents of WELHAM Old Boys Society should be clearly established on the Board of Governors. This should be mandated in the governance structure. This is something gracious, but a standard practice with just public-private school across the globe, where the participation of the alumni of office bearers in their decision-making is actively solicited.
So basically, no. So these are the things they have raised. So the alumni members have raised it, and we are raising.
In fact, WOBS removed the ex-presidents from the EC groups, despite wanting the same thing from the school. So about 4 or 5 years back, there was an EC group. I thought the way I grew up thinking was that all past presidents are members of EC. Maybe they can't vote, but they can be members of EC.
Advisors.
Yeah, I've not got a single mail as a past president for any EC meeting now. Will you agree with that, Lokesh?
No, this was changed. Basically, till I was the president, all ex-presidents were the ex-officio members of the EC. That is pretty much the norm with most societies.
Kirtiman,
For
Kirtiman.
some strange reason,
No.
they decided that no, now we don't want the ex-presidents to be the ex-officio members.
Okay.
They can, after 2 years, they can come and fight elections or get elected to EC and come back. That's what's been happening. Rupinder Thain last year, or last AGM, came back into the EC.
Ex-officio members.
But
Once again, Kirtiman will reply because I had a presidents as ex-officio members, right? We had a long discussion. In fact, I believe there should have been Kirtiman actually told me and the reasons he'll give you.
why should the ex-presidents of WOBs not be ex-officio members without any voting rights?
So, that was the position earlier.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, one of the problems is if you have a body which becomes too unwieldy, it's always an issue.
Not voting.
It's always an issue.
Why? We amended the bylaws. Kirtiman and I sat together.
Yeah.
And we amended the bylaws.
Yeah.
I think the position is that there is, when we were sitting together,
absolutely,
amending the bylaws, the position should be that there's a lot to learn from an past president, because he's got no stake any longer, right?
That's right.
There's no politics being played. If you want to eliminate the vote, I understand that, but to the extent an ex-president wishes to contribute and the current lot want to take that advice, I think we should be open to accepting that advice. That's all.
So as a matter of fact, I don't think there's a problem.
Actually, one is your bylaws.
Yeah.
Secondly, there was a systematic removal of all the past presidents from all the groups.
So,
I mean, I'm not talking about the bylaws really. I'm talking about the practical on-ground aspect. Right? So, I mean, it's like the new president comes in, you don't invite the past president.
What happens on DS? Let's hear from Rahul on this.
Yeah. See, take at the DSOBS, since we have spoken about it.
Please, can we move on from please.
Either you ask or you don't ask. But since you have opened the matter, I'm just coming to it.
Yes, please, absolutely.
Yeah. The past presidents actually are invited to every EC meeting, whether they choose to attend
Attend
or
them or
not.
not, yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
separate matter. By way of precedence, the outgoing president does not attend EC meetings for 2 years. For the simple reason, he allows the new president completely free hand. The reason why we do not allow ex-presidents to ever be re-elected is that they tend to politic. And the worst thing for any fraternity is politicking. So don't allow an extra term to a past president. That effectively shows that his participation will be from the back. He is not going to be able to exercise authority any further.
No, but I think the provision that these guys have also put, and it was there in the before, so that in the immediate preceding 2 years you can't really participate. But after that, it's also because Doon School has been producing alumni from 11, 12 for donkey's years, and they have been around for 25 years.
But now you're there, you have 2,000 members, yeah? From 2,000 members, you can't elect one more person?
No, just an aside.
Certainly.
So Vikrant brought up the BCCI, right? There is a system that is there in most of these bodies where you are entitled to 2 terms.
Legality and propriety.
Yeah, so we are not on a question of, we are trying to figure out what the best rule is, but not whether you're right or I'm wrong. So that's the system that people have. Now we could think about that. I'm not saying that we should do it right now, tomorrow, but it's something that all of us must keep in mind. See, we have good, that's right. So we should just, anybody, whatever suggestions people have with regard to everything, with regard to the bylaws, please put them down, send it, and then we can have this discussion again. I mean, I don't think there's a problem on that issue. Yeah.
There is e-voting, so because people from remote areas can participate and be more involved there.
See, sir, another thing is that where Doon School is now and where we are, there's still a gap. So something that is valid for Doon School today might be valid for us 10 years later. So that's something that everyone can choose, decide, add, and yeah. So
exactly.
Yeah, we can, yeah, move on.
You know, Gurjot, as you said in the
moving on
beginning,
to,
learn from our mistakes.
I'm putting 13 and 14 point together because they are much similar to what it is. To outline the roles and responsibility of EC members and to ensure smooth functioning of the elected committee members, and to outline the roles and responsibilities of batch representatives and ensure maximum participation for their respective batches. Also to finalize the number of batch representatives for each batch. Yeah.
So then, of course, bylaws are very
See, we have to read them because the members have sent us these points to be read.
I just want a quick thing. Of course, we are adding in by. Do you believe that Mr. Kohli can shed light? Okay. Do you believe we should have one batch representative or more than one batch representative? And sir, why do you feel that?
We mostly had one batch rep per batch, but in the past what has happened is sometimes the alignment between the batches is such, maybe region wise or life in school, it's better if the whole batch has to be representative actively. We can have two batch reps also. We should have. That's practical reason from experience. I mean, I have been a batch rep. Absolutely, I'm coming to that. So in case let's say we are having an average of 75, 72 kids passing out from school now. Earlier we used to have 30 kids. So if let's say a batch of 91 says we want to have two batch reps, in some cases maybe you can have an upper limit, say we won't have more than, let's say, two or three, whatever, two batch reps.
Then if those two don't agree, then we need a third batch rep.
No, that the batch decides. No, if you've given a limit to two.
Rohit, I would just say that if there is a disparity, let's say a batch wants to appoint two batch reps, then but they still collectively get one vote.
Yeah. Batch reps aren't voting anyways. Batch reps don't have any voting rights. It's only representation in terms of, getting the batch together.
No, but that's the point, that one person is supposed to bring about the...
No, it can't.
No, so but what happens is, like either you make it for everyone, because the fact is, you can't have certain batches with three batch reps sitting on the group and some batch reps only one. No, so it's not up to the batch. It is, yeah.
We'll include.
Balaji, I personally feel that one batch should have one representative.
One representative,
But it's a discussion.
absolutely.
See, at the end of the day, when you say that there are different voices in a batch, that's precisely why you have one representative, so that he represents the batch and says that
Yeah.
this is what the batch wants.
The bias, there is no vote in that. It's a bias call of a single batch rep. Yes, exactly. It gets overshadowed by and may not be being having the true representation of the batch has to take care of.
No, but batch is only taken
So
care of by
again-
asking for a second batch rep. No, that's the batch way of taking care of that. They say we want two reps here.
It's more an issue of the... Yeah, and it's more of a batch issue rather than anything else.
Can I just say something here? I'm sorry. We'll arrange a separate meeting for guys who want to talk about the bylaws, and we'll do that separately.
Separately.
Let's just do that separately. There's no point of...
Super, yeah.
In fact, I would strongly suggest when you have this meeting, invite all the past presidents as a part of it.
Everyone.
Why past president? Everyone's invited.
So that will not be in...
Tell me something if you're not invited as past
Okay, moving to point 15, to bring absolute clarity on the system for ownership and management of all WELHAM Old Boys Society assets, including digital assets.
Okay, this point.
It's an impractical suggestion. You are not going to be able to implement this. You don't have trademarks over this. And if Lama decides to print a T-shirt tomorrow for me, he doesn't have to take permission from the president.
No. So the question is, Mr. Kohli, can you pass? We've got batches.
This is very important. This is very important.
This you must ensure. No. You cannot allow people to take away your intellectual property. This is critical, and it is critical going forward to all your the money that you will make from merchandise. You cannot allow this.
Also, a small point on this is that the name
This
is
is-
registered to the society. So we have to maintain a good relationship with the school for them to allow us to do that. Because at some stage the school can start saying that, okay, I don't recognize
That is also a possibility in the future.
Can we perhaps not go so far down the road? Right now, let's keep in the realm of.
And what about the control and handling of the Instagram, Facebook, whatever else?
The Old Boys Society looks after matters that concern the old boys.
No, I'm
and
only
the
talking about
school.
Old Boys Society.
Old Boys Society looks after what concerns the old boys.
So, no. So what I'm saying is that there was something that came up that many times over the years someone started something, like for example maybe in my tenure I started Instagram account and I put it up, and so when I'm leaving my post, my this thing is to hand it over to the incoming guy or the next guy, right?
Baba, what you call it, the society owns that page.
Yeah.
That's what I instituted.
So
the society.
No, I'll tell you. The WELHAM Old Boys Society page on Facebook, for instance, was started by an individual. He started it, he ran it for a couple of years on his own. No one really bothered about it. After that, when things became a little more active, he started giving the rights of operating that page to the current president and vice president. Every 2 years, he would, when I was the president, I got the right, then Thain, then Mohit, then Gurjot. Now the issue is that page is still owned by that individual, right? Now, if he's, I'm not saying right or wrong.
He's
I'm
just
saying
putting in facts.
This is the fact right now. The practical solution to this is, if WOBS has to run its own page, either they convince that individual that you leave that page forever onto the current officials, or start a fresh page thereafter. Those are the two options.
So the thing is that if any account or any new platform is started, because as time goes by, some new platform comes, that president or someone will start it, right? And
in fact, Parth is waiting to be heard, and we can talk to him now. Get Parth on, no?
We have the speakers
The-
connected.
Parth, if you can hear me, you can speak, yeah.
Can you do it from your system? You mute. Your mic. Please. You have to mute your mic. Okay. Speak. We hooked it up with the Issit Arena Connect. Parth, speak. Somebody message him.
I was just saying thank you so much. Finally, gave us a chance to speak. You're clearly clueless when it comes to running Zoom meetings, because you don't give a chance to online speakers to speak at all. Having said that, there are a number of points that I wanted to make, but due to paucity of time now, I'm not going to make any of those points. Most of them, some I agreed with, some I didn't agree with, but I'm just going to talk about the pertinent point that we're discussing currently. And I'm going to make my stand extremely clear on this one. I started the page sometime in 2009. I subsequently, as Lokesh said, got some members onto that page, and after some time got people, and after some time put some kind of semblance to that page, by having only the president and the vice president as moderators on that page. I'm the only administrator on that page currently. My reason for doing that was very clear, that Facebook or any social media platform for that matter, including Twitter and everything else, tends to become extremely caustic when you have certain people start making accusations, making talking about issues which are biased in nature, and etc. etc. I have been an outsider on this from the very beginning. I have not had, while I've had a link with WOBS as well as WELHAM, at no point in time have I been, very actively involved in the WOBS, meetings and their agendas and all of that, or in the WELHAM board or in the school in any way. And while you can have audits on your, you can have audits on your bank accounts, you can have audits on, your policies and all of that, having an audit on social media becomes extremely difficult. And I, for one, I'm really passionate about, this page that I started 13 years back, and I would like to, kind of continue to administer it as an outsider, for the sole reason that tomorrow, if an extra a person who's actually inside the society or inside the school, due to their biased agendas, decides to kind of take over the stage and not kind of abandon the administrator post on it, nobody can help it. It's not something that you can block the account, or then we'll only have to approach Mark Zuckerberg to do it and clearly state the reason. I think he's kind of losing his space as well. So I just personally think that I would like to continue administering this, and till the time there is a fairly robust charter in the bylaws which basically defines quite clearly how social media can be audited, one, and secondly, what is the surety that people who come with their own agendas and become the administrators on these accounts are not going to pass on the mantle to the next executive committee, that, or to the next president and vice president that comes in. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Mr. Kohli had something to say.
Kohli sir?
I disagree completely.
Just pass this.
I agree with Mr. Kohli completely.
Same
Agree with Mr. Kohli completely.
Anish,
I disagree completely. The society must be in complete control. The authorized body of the society must be in complete control of all its social media and outreach programs. It is unacceptable that one man holds a society to ransom. Yeah?
Yeah, I agree with that.
If you have to start a new page, go ahead and do it. But you cannot accept my way or highway, then it is definitely highway.
Thank you, sir.
I don't think there's anything.
Yeah,
to waste time on.
I think most of us are in agreement over here. Okay. No. We can request Parth to hand over. He's a reasonable gentleman. I'm sure he'll understand if the
I'll land up and have free drinks with him. He'll hand over the page.
Okay. Next is to provide status update on the WELHAM app.
Yeah. Okay. So the app is stuck because of the video, and if Nikhil or someone rest, everything is ready. It's just that the same person is doing the app for who is doing for DSOBS. Okay. But anyway, we won't go into that. So it is ready to be launched. We just need a good front of the thing, and if video can be done with hopefully with thing, and you allow us, and I think it can be launched in next 15 days. How much are you paying, sir?
We've shut it down. By and large, I mean, we haven't kind of shut it down, but we have taken a very strong. And there are lakhs involved here. Do you really want to pay lakhs a year?
Because he tried to do the Delhi Golf Club.
He tried to hit us for 5 lakhs a year.
He takes very, very good photographs, and he's very good on drones.
So we are.
Nakul, there's a commercial objective here, like there should be. There will be stuff that is pushed to our app, for which there will be a commercial gain for him. So the question really is,
How to bifurcate?
you'll have a fantastic drone imaging by Nakul, no question. Nakul should be talking about, right?
Yeah.
So, but the commercial aspect of it.
So that's where the lawyers have to come in to. No, I know, but what happens is, see, the cost of anything has to come out. Someone has to pay for it, right? Yeah, so that's where lawyers have to come and sit down and say, okay, this is how we divide the revenue. This is how we do it, and if it works out well, fine. If it doesn't,
I think Ashu will bear me out. But what kind of hit do we have on our app? Negligible. It is a blasted waste of money. Completely. Get a good website. Far more important.
I think it's the thing. I think
cut and run from this app.
About 2 lakhs.
2 lakh rupees.
I know, listen, I know the Nakul contract because I saw it from the Delhi Golf Club. It's 2 lakhs, but go into the commercial that he wants.
Okay.
Every single person that comes there, at least for the Delhi Golf Club it was, if I will put up Mercedes cars selling cars. Club had no control over what he puts up. Every Mercedes car purchased.
So we didn't have that. We didn't have that, and no. Okay. So anyway, we'll run through you.
I've read those contracts. I've negotiated them. I know what the contract is.
Okay. So that's what the status was.
Point 17, to initiate a discussion on acquiring a permanent office space and or a club house and deliberate on the viability of the assets purchased.
Right now, we are operating out of a temporary office provided to us by Rupinder Thind. We'll need to vacate this office very soon, okay? So now, once we vacate the office, we have the option of either leasing one, or in the long run, we can think of acquiring an asset in Dehradun, which can work as our office, so next time we are not thrown out and our assets are not lost. So that's...
Problem could be in future, if we buy an office, then the school would say that you have an office, why do you want to get into the school?
But people are saying it's going to take 5-10 years, so do we sit without an office?
Whatever, but you're
5-10 years?
shutting the doors on that. That is my opinion.
So the question is...
It might happen
so
after 10 years, it might not happen, but I'm just putting
it's a point, but how do you operate? I'll tell you, it's been a struggle. Our papers half the time are not there. Hmm? Yeah, what are you...
Getting a physical office in Dehradun is mind-boggling, because for the very fact that we as a young society should be heading towards an idea where we are remotely managing everything. Digitally transformation should be the keyword to put in most of our money that we have collected over 25 years in getting a physical office, so that some emails can be sent out or books of accounts can be maintained in a physical office. I think that's not a very wise thing to do at the moment, especially when we don't have those sort of funds.
There are two words you used. One was investment, and the other was asset, right? So the
an investment.
So you used the word investment and asset.
I didn't use the word investment.
So when
I didn't use the word investment.
But when you're describing it, sounding like expenditure, right?
It is expenditure.
We have done. No, so question is,
And
first do we need it? Second is, then how much do we want to invest? There are two parts.
How do we raise the money?
And how do we raise the money? You see.
What are you going to do from it?
Yeah, what is the objective?
What are you going to do from this office? After all, you have, hang on. You have
President, Vice President. Sorry, you have President, Vice President. What are the activities of your society, of our society? Yeah, are you running active mentorship programs? Do you have a paid secretary who actually monitors and does the work of the society? Do you have inter-house hockey, football, cricket, squash, tennis? So how many of these things do you really? Some things you do need you need physical space, because if you want to store memorabilia sometimes you need physical space. Yeah. So I'd say right now, rent an office. Rent an office. Don't invest in one. Your return from property is not the greatest on earth. Just keep your money, rent an office, and stay there, man. Don't get into buying a property right now. And if you're going to buy an office, then it must not be from your corpus. It must be from collections from the alumni. Let the alumni say, I will give 10 lakh. The Doon School Old Boys Society bought an office. It was paid for by the alumni. They raised the money themselves, and an office was bought.
And Rahul, I want to add here, in the existing corpus fund withdrawal from the corpus fund, there is a provision which says that for any initiative, if as long as you have raised more than 50% for a particular activity, that's the only time when you can even look at diving into the corpus fund.
Yes, that's right.
So, but for a physical office, if you are able to raise, like he has said, because you have also been referring to whatever the DOSCOs have been doing, and if we collectively are able to are able to raise funds specifically for the office, that's a different question, but not diving into the corpus fund.
No. So that's the point. That's exactly the point. So that no one can come and just give away money or spend money. That's what someone said, that if tomorrow you got to spend 50 lakh rupees, at least 25 lakhs should be raised separately from the corpus.
Yeah.
So Kohli sir, there is a difference between where Doon School stands today and WELHAM. So there is, while Doon School can be very stringent in certain ways because you have money allocated for everything. You've got, I think, maybe 8-10 crores, right, sir? So you've got about 10 crores. We've just reached about 2.5 crores, right? So while in Doon School you've reached 10 crores where your interest and everything takes care of things, the reason why we put 50% is that while there should be money raised by the alumni, the 50%, there should be a slight flexibility also. That was the reason.
I also want to clarify that in the existing bylaws, specific to purchase of land, there was a provision in the withdrawal of corpus fund, and in the new amended bylaws that were proposed, that particular clause has been removed here. So I don't think so the intent was right.
Just point it out in an email. Point it out in an email.
About 6-8 years back, there was an EC meeting in the Nitiba Club.
Yes.
It was one of the first
2016.
One of the first and the last meetings I attended as an ex-president. At that time also this whole club thing came up, and at that time I very clearly said exactly what Rahul has said, that if you want an office, I should give you a premises and say, here, take the office. But you cannot take loans or spend the corpus in doing any of this. The maximum you can do is just take something on rent, that's it. For, take a 2-year lease or something.
2018 Bob's meeting also, this topic had come up, and
This
We're not deciding, we should just move on.
On the WELHAM Lodge kind of a concept, which was like a hotel which WELHAMites can come and stay in.
That's a very poor idea here.
And I was like, I can't do this. I make a lot of project reports in my day. I said I'm making this, but it won't work. The ratios don't work. Add up.
It's just not about the ratios here. We are spread all over the world, and you can't have this provision for 20 odd people to visit Dehradun and to hire a bloody guest house, man. No way.
Okay. Moving on to the next point, point 18. Bringing on record anomalies and restraining erstwhile office bearers involved during the specific tenure between 2011 to 2015 from assuming any office positions at WOBS.
What point is this here? What?
This actually has been
added to the agenda now.
Yes, because I got an email.
It's not circulated here.
Okay.
No,
okay.
one second. This is
so the thing is that there were some questions raised, and I've asked questions to the people it was raised with, and I feel there has to be.
But the problem is,
yeah.
see, the thing is, allegations are raised. The person that is deciding the answer, like you're playing the role of judge and jury. Don't do it.
No. We don't. So the thing is, Uday, it is not going to be decided by me. There has to be a committee formed. Not 2000 batches. People.
1 second, guys. Please.
I'm reading it again. Okay. Bringing on record anomalies and restraining erstwhile office bearers involved during the specific tenure between 2011 to 2015 from assuming any office positions at WOBS.
Lokesh, before you go there, what's the purpose of this question here? What's the purpose of this question here? And why is it being added at the last moment?
I'll tell you.
Why is it being added at the last moment here?
One second. No, listen to me. Listen. This has been put by Rupinder Thin. Okay, and
Gurjot, no, 1 second. Gurjot, at
so
what
he-
point has
so
Rupinder
that's
raised
what
this
I'm
point
saying.
here?
1 second.
Why is it not part of the agenda that was circulated to everybody?
So it came. Listen.
He's an
there
office
is- there's-
bearer here. You
this
have.
is 1 second. 1 second.
Why is
Yeah,
it coming
there-
so
there
late?
is- listen.
Why is
listen.
it coming so late?
By the way, this is listen. This can be there's a provision for. No, listen. Look, sit down, please. Yeah.
No,
Okay,
no.
listen.
This.
Listen. By the way, there is.
This
there is
cannot be
provision-
added to the agenda for today's meeting here. This cannot be added to the agenda. No, this cannot be added to the agenda at the last moment here.
We'll circulate it. We'll circulate.
We are okay.
I want to speak on this. Can I have that thing, yeah? I mean, it's my. This is on me, guys. I want to speak up. 1 sec. No.
It's not only on you. It's me also.
No. I can't take it. How could you admit this, yeah? Okay, now you understand. Yeah, you. Can I say something? Why not? I'll speak on it, yeah? Are you crazy? No, I'll tell you guys, this is the other point. I want this minuted. You know what is happening here now? In the last 2 years, there have been a lot of communication. So what happened was when 2015, after my tenure, hear me out, guys. I want you also to hear this. This is factual. Huh? So when this happened, I intentionally, because I was involved with WASP for almost 18 years, yeah. So I said, enough. I dropped out of every possible group. I told them especially, I want to be outed for some time. Let it run. Anyway, things started moving. 2 years back, I saw certain things happening in the sense which I was not in. I just wanted to give advice. So I wrote an email, started with that. Guys, for example, till I was president, all the corpus that we got from the school, the money we got from the school every year, was automatically moved to the corpus. We didn't use it as income. Suddenly I see in the statement that year, the expenditure was more than the income. So what the current team had done was use the money that came from school as income instead of corpus. Fair enough, I pointed it out and there were further queries. What happened when I raised these questions was a lot of questions started coming on the earlier issues. It was almost like questioning that had happened then, this had happened and all. Anyways, it was not made public. On emails, we had these lot of exchanges. Story was, sort of over. No, every time I'm questioning something on current work issues, either I am named as a stooge of Darshan Singh or you're on the board or that's the reason. Or second tool has been to say this was wrong. The money was moved from this account to this account. I had in 2016 AGM very categorically said when we were running the society, we didn't know a few things. There were a lot of procedural lapses. Kabhi tax file nahi hua time pe, 2 saal license lapse ho gaya. Whatever else happened, we did our best. And Prashant offered, we had lost some tax refund for I think 2 lakhs or 2.5 lakhs. At the AGM, he offered upfront. It was our mistake. We would like to pay for it also. Everyone said, no, it's okay, done with. Now again, those questions are being raised. Now, this is the craziest thing that I have heard is that after working for 15 years, I have no intentions of coming back to run WOBs or something. I nominated my name for the EC also for the simple matter. Half the EC members this time called me up and said that they are clueless about what's happening. They said, we don't, I asked, when is the AGM? We don't know. There are 3 or 4 guys sitting and deciding everything, not even involving others in the discussions here. And I want this minuted. I want this minuted. So for that simple reason, I gave in my name as an EC guy. And no, this has to be voted. This point, no, how many of you here right now, this is the right? No, for this point has to be voted. This 2011 thing, yeah. If it was not to be admitted, it should not have been brought up here in the first place. It should be condemned. How could you bring this up, yaar? I'm ashamed, yaar.
Sent by the secretary. Rupinder is the secretary. He is being replaced today when he is not.
So how? Okay, listen. What has, no, one second. Wha- I will elaborate on it. One second. Manojit, do you want me to elaborate on this point? On the point, or I'll elaborate on the point. Okay. No, listen, sit down. Okay, listen to me. Listen to me.
Why? You can't
एक minute.
agree. But
Lokesh, sit down.
allegations thrown.
Listen.
Personal
Okay.
allegations on two of them,
Okay. One second. Mr. Kohli.
It's happened to him as well. He was also
Listen. You.
Not even the EC is aware of this point. They are not even aware of this point.
Okay. नहीं. Listen. So we will not discuss it.
I have put it in.
Because I have not been.
Okay. Listen.
7 EC members here, 5 of them are not even aware of this point.
Listen to me. Okay, so then sit down, yeah. Then if you listen to me. Either one second. No, one second, Lokesh. One second. If you want it discussed, I'll give you reason. Okay. If you don't want to. Okay, so then let's not.
Let's just one minute.
Hi. Yeah. I'll tell you. I'll tell you why it's been brought out. Okay. I'll tell you why it's been brought out and why the people, office bearers between 2011 and 2015. By the way, between 2013 and 15, I was the treasurer. So when it says that those 4, 5, 6 people, whatever, will be asked and investigated, it includes Rupinder Thin, he was the vice president. It includes me as the treasurer. It includes Mr. Lokesh Vashisht as the president. It includes the people who were signing authorities during that period between 2011 and 2015. So that's the point. And the reason for it is, and the reason why it was just to bring it up, and it is very moral. And I'll tell you what, it is very, very moral. And the reason why the reason why I do not want to discuss it on the public forum is because I would rather have it, rather than slandering anyone, I would rather have it discussed. That's why we are just saying we will discuss that point behind closed doors, and if there is a good enough reason why it shouldn't be carried forward, it can be ended there. That's it. I'll tell you. So let's not risk it. Okay. Let's. I agree.
Guys, just 1 minute.
Guys.
Yeah, so in the interest of everyone, let us just drop this point. It's out. Let's just take it out of the agenda.
Yeah, out.
It's out of the agenda.
Yeah.
Now we
19 and 20. So application for Vice President 2021-2023 have been received from Pavitra Arora batch of 2004. And
Can I congratulate, but can you speak for 2 minutes just on what your vision is?
So by the way, one second, let me just. So let's first congratulate him and say, Pavitra, congratulations. Welcome to the gang. And
So the first point before this was actually for me as well. I was a secretary. I was the acting secretary in 2011, 2015 because I've been the longing service secretary for the old boys. What do I want from the society and what I want to do? I want to build up the society way up what we had way back in 2000, maybe from 2000 or scratch up. I want to build the society what it was, what relation we had with the school. This is my first, point of action I want to do. I want to bridge the relationships back with the school. That's my point of view. Rohit is going to be there for 2 years. I'll be there after him. So let's see how it goes. But my first priority is to bridge the gap between the school and the society. This is what I want to do, and rest I'll take it forward, whenever it comes, how it comes. I've been there for 12 years in the society, and I wanted to, be at the stage what we were. We were not in we've never been in dictating terms. We've been only hearing things. I never wanted things the way it should be, but yes, we are here to build it again. So thank you.
Congratulations once again, Pavitra. Finally, the wait is over.
So now, Uday.
Now, point 20, application nominations for elected committee members have been received from Rohit Jaiswal. He's the president.
So, see, I was automatic.
By the way, let's congratulate Rohit Jaiswal also. Yeah.
So Lokesh, this is for you also. So because we received we sent out an email specifying that 31st was the last date for receiving nominations for the EC. Okay, there were nominations received till 31st, and there were nominations received after 31st. Okay, and we are in a situation where there are more nominations if you combine the two of them together. Okay, so what we have done is we've stuck to the written word, that is the nominations received up till 31st. We are accepting that only, and that's it. Okay, so we are not accepting nominations after. Lokesh, that meeting was recalled in writing. No, how do we then there were other applications. Then there were other applicants also. Okay. Okay. So at least the people who are before 31st. Okay. Can we who are being added to the EC? Voted. You see, if yeah, the applicants who were before the date. But there is a date also, na?
But this is 2017.
17. So that's the 17. So there's no clause for an election. Yes.
Only 2017, not 20. 20 can't be adopted.
Yeah, 17 is adopted.
Adopted? What are you talking?
What are you talking? 17 is adopted. 17 is adopted.
They have been adopted?
We've adopted. Yeah, in the new bylaws there's election. Yeah. So
17 will work.
yeah, let him finish.
That are already in existing in place.
Yes.
Which is the batch representatives nominations only.
Where does it say batch representatives only? Where does it say batch representatives only? No.
There are 4 EC members here, they are clueless. No, 1 second. Lokesh, 1 second. 2017, Kirtiman, just have a look. 1 second. See, Manavjeet is right.
It was a very fair system.
Kirtiman, why don't you just have a look? Yeah, Lokesh, just sit down. Lokesh.
We
Lokesh.
have received. Acknowledge.
Yeah.
So acknowledge.
So listen. Okay, listen. Egg.
No, this is not. Sorry, Lokesh. This is not the conduct. No. This is unfair, Lokesh. You can't just throw allegations just like this. Sorry.
Please
Put everything in writing.
There are rules, regulations, just follow.
Manavjeet is right that 2020 cannot, since it's not been passed, it cannot be. So only 2016, 17.
Manavjeet, there's a point 5.
Manavjeet,
There's a point number 5 the governing body of the society shall be the council of elected members bracket EC, or as also called the executive committee. Elected.
Hmm.
Has to be elected, yeah.
There shall be a governing body also called the executive committee consisting not less than
let's
8
not-
members
let's
and
not-
not more than 18
No,
members.
it has to be elected, yeah.
I
is
think,
not.
look, let's take the right view, which is, sounds like there's some ambiguity in the article. I think the right thing to
And
do-
it could be mistake
Yeah,
the way
so
it's
why
been.
don't we, at the EGM, where we're gonna have an EGM for adopting the bylaws, assuming those bylaws are adopted.
So then what does happen till then?
Till then.
There are only two guys going to.
Two guys can't.
So what if next 18 months you can't, two guys will run the society?
No, you elect it. In the AGM, you elect EC today. Let's have elections today.
So let's be clear about this.
Once again.
Manojit,
Once again, Manojit.
Malari, just read it out here, Bhavit. You'll read the rest of the bylaw out. Let it come clear.
The governing body of the society shall be the council of elected members, EC, or also called the executive committee.
Right.
There shall be a governing body also called the executive committee consisting of not less than 8 members and not more than 18 members, including office bearers, in which the management of the society shall be entrusted and vested. There shall be an election every 2 years for the position of vice president, after which the elected vice president shall be appointed as the president for the further period of 2 years. In order to do eligible to contest elections to the vice president, the member should have served on the governing body, EC, for a minimum time period of 2 years.
So that's fine.
On assuming the office of the president shall nominate 4 life members onto the governing body of the society. The president shall further select batch representative of 12 batches who is in the opinion who have been most actively engaged with the society.
That is the procedure.
Each such selected batch representative from the active batches of the society shall from the rest of the governing body, the president in selection of the active batches in the immediately preceding 2 years shall evaluate the following parameters.
So anyway, forget the parameters. So that's the provision in the bylaws, guys. Let's just take it easy. Just one. So this is, I mean, we are all sitting here. According to the bylaw, that's the position, right? If this is what is the practice that you've been following all the while?
Elections.
Well, if that is the bylaw, then the election stricto sensu is not there. It's a selection from the batch representative.
Body has not been elected. You have to understand that the EC members in the current body have been nominated.
Point number
So let's
Manojit.
Let me
There's a point on this. Here's the fact. In case the president desires any of his nominated members on the EC to be either the general secretary or the treasurer, in that case the same shall be put to vote.
So
In case of a tie, such resolution shall stand.
That's not relevant, yeah.
So that's right.
So that's why I was proposing that if you because he's going to be elected. He's going to be the elected
I think the
VP.
simple solution to this is given that the vice president has the power to nominate, is it the vice president or the president? The president has the power to nominate. I think the democratic thing to do would be that your power to nominate should be based on elections. So you will nominate 4 people as a formal process.
Right.
But which of those 4 that you will nominate should be the ones that are elected.
Whatever.
Well, actually, so again,
that
we
is
are now quibbling on the bylaws.
Yeah, we are fibbling on 31st and 1st, yeah.
Okay, guys.
He's saying your letter was 1 day late, so you are not late.
His is late.
No,
By the way, he's also late.
That's his problem. He doesn't want to come on the EC maybe. But
It's just a
the
suggestion
AGM will decide it, yeah.
It's just a suggestion that right now to have an active thing going on, like you suggested, that or what he's suggesting, that you have the power to nominate 4 people. Let's have a collective view on who are those 4 people who can immediately be selected to the EC. You will have a body running, and in 1 month or 2 months, when you are going to have the AGM, you're going to hopefully adopt the new bylaws,
And then
and
go
at
about
that
it that
point
way.
you are able to fill the rest of the
Yes,
EC.
absolutely.
That sounds very same.
Yeah.
But I think in your bylaws you said you need minimum of 8, right? So then maybe have an election for 6, because let's not fall foul.
Yeah.
So total 18, right?
8
Minimum is 18.
Maximum 18. We have total 22.
And so 4 are nominated by the president. What happens to the remaining 4?
And why would you in your agenda list that nominations have been
One
received
second,
from
so
25
what is it
people
say?
and you list all of them there?
Lokesh,
These are nominations received.
Lokesh,
So what happened is?
we went on the second road.
Yeah.
We have 22 people.
Out of which,
After the late people have voted, they have given their names. So on the 22, there are 2 people, which is a silver jubilee and decade years batch, which we take. वो खत्म हो गए. So we have 19. We have 20 there, right? Out of the 20, we have to take out 2. Okay. Then we have 18 inclusive of the nomination and office bearers.
So then, take out 6.
Then you see that we are only have to take out 2 from this.
No, Pavitra, that's not an adopted. That's not an adopted by the bylaws.
8 to 18 I'm talking about.
तो जो अभी जो आपको जो एक करना है, आप 2 already हो, है ना? आप already 2 हो, जो batch representative में
No, I
I think
think
Lokesh wants to be a part of
right?
it. You can select those
Not more
rest
than
4 and
18,
have a minimum.
including office bearers.
Yeah, not more than 18 including office
so you have to take 4 out.
Okay.
6 out. 6.
6 out, whatever the number is. But then
Okay,
the vote should be the
Six
opposite.
out.
Those people who have been nominated,
Yeah,
they are not necessarily batch
2 are
reps.
here.
Two are here.
16. We've got.
So
We've got
the idea
two
being
you
you want to
leave aside.
have 8
Yes, I
people
have
right
to
now,
be
2 on the
and
stage.
Yeah, so
One
what
is
we do is
a batch rep also, and also Chirag.
who have applied to
You
the
select those 4 people and that's the minimum 8. Elected
नहीं आए 10 आए.
I'll tell you.
I would say take everyone.
Once again,
Everyone is
पहले डाल दिया था यार.
in fact, I'll just take the names also. Yeah. Forget it.
You can't do all the intent has to be right.
One second.
A lot of people from that time has not applied for the EC. So that's also a scenario.
So
What do you do then?
So the one is the president, one is vice president. Saurabh Naran, Uday Vishesh, Ankush Sararia, Gurpreet Gambhir, Dhruv Dinsa, Anish, Aditya Prasad, Jagjit
But
Singh.
what is the maximum tenure you can serve on the EC at a stretch? यार वो भी तो memorandum में लिखा हुआ है ना. It says very clearly you can't be on the EC at a stretch more than 4 years. So if someone has already served for 4 years, why is his nomination being accepted now?
Who?
Whoever developed, you must be knowing, yaar. I don't know.
Guys, you guys are mixing up 2 different things
कोई
here.
नहीं है.
नहीं. सलारिया नहीं है, गुरप्रीत गंभीर नहीं है, ध्रुव हिंसा नहीं है, अनीश नहीं है, जगजीत सिंह नहीं है, राजबीर ग्रेवाल नहीं है.
नहीं, Naran has been there for more than 4 years, यार. हो गए 2 term हो गए.
नहीं.
You ask him.
19 after 19.
4 years हो गए ना.
2 years.
2 years.
अरे 4 years यार, 2 terms he's done यार. You want to lay a bet on ये तुम्हें नहीं पता, तुम्हारे साथ इसी में 4 साल से है.
चलो हम देख लेते हैं.
देख लो मैं क्या.
अरे सौरभ से पूछ लो यार, सौरभ बता देगा भाई.
सौरभ ही बता देगा.
He's saying 90.
He's saying 90.
If we don't believe him, we'll verify.
Oh, technical, that is.
So he's saying
They are talking technical only.
I'm eligible.
Gambhir is recent.
Mathematics. Mathematics.
He's 2 years.
हाँ, बहुत कह रहे हैं आप बोलो.
Another 15 years.
Lokesh, what else would you, yeah?
Lokesh.
All of them are 2 years.
So anyways, करो हाँ आगे बढ़ो.
So there are 10 guys there. Okay.
Yeah, but they all 10 are not batch reps here. You are violating the provisions. You have to select 6 right now who are also batch reps and maybe nominated to have a consensus.
Batch
here.
rep is 1 second. Let's take it up here.
How many of these guys are batch reps? Those guys are automatically.
Who makes batch reps?
Or
How do you define batch reps?
or it's easy if you're going to have an extraordinary general meeting in 2 months, you adopt the new bylaws and have the elections, and you have the president, vice president running the show.
So how many batch reps do you have? Because they're automatically. This election, yeah.
So Vivek Bansal is not here.
Jagjit Singh is Four we have.
My batch is here. How do you define batch reps? That is my question. But my question is, just to safeguard my interest, is how do you define batch reps? There is no official purpose.
I'll tell you what.
No, there's loss of dignity. Everybody knows. Everybody here is seeing each other in the chutneys. Everybody knows what's going on.
Guys.
Okay.
In that effort to try and preserve the dignity and say the right thing.
Kirtiman, there is a thing. The president can nominate 4 people, and those 4 people, if in the AGM, and this is outside the preview of the batch reps.
You have to elect someone here, no?
And this is a reflection of where we are on that scale.
Minimum 8 people.
You need 6.
No, so I will fill the 8 here. You already are 2. There is a provision for the president to nominate 4 people who are like members but not batch reps. And those 4 people, if they are elected by the majority or if they are elected.
Let's be clear. If we are going by the bylaw, then that says nominate.
nomination.
Yeah.
So let's sort that
One
problem
second.
out
No.
that way only.
That point has to be read in conjunction with another point mentioned there.
Yeah, Malaji's
It says-
boss, let's have this discussion outside about what has happened. How are you? Let's sort the problem out. If you're going to say nominate, कोई election करोगे तो फिर तो फायदा ही नहीं है. Nomination तो nomination
मैं तो कह रहा हूँ तुम्हें जो मर्जी करना है करो. You elect the EC at least. Nomination is secondary, यार. You have to elect.
What is the process?
That's exactly what I'm trying to make to you.
That we
That there is no
fresh.
let's call a fresh nomination, yeah.
No, why?
Why?
Call it for people who are not here, who don't want to be. They are part of the EC.
Being present person is not required for election.
You have to do election. Not required, but do election. I'm not saying not required.
But election.
Let all the nominations be announced and let the AGM elect. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right now I can do that.
Just do an election now for
Yeah, I'm not going. Ashu, I'm not going there. Sure enough.
Two more. We want two more there.
No, but Lokesh, sorry, 1 minute. If you are going to hold an election, one, it's not going to be in accordance with the bylaw today. Two, if you are going to hold an election today and people who are sitting here are all eligible, then you'll have to open application for people who have not applied.
No.
Because the date for application is gone.
That's right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
This is why the
Kirtiman,
application.
So you have the list with you.
Kirtiman, there is a point. Even though the president nominates for, he doesn't have voting rights here. But if the AGM elects him, they have voting rights in the EC.
Hey guys, I tell you, let's just keep it simple. You are going to hold an AGM soon. Let's call for nominations again.
And till then, what happens? Only two people
Do and he'll have six.
No, you're not getting the point. Then they can do again the same thing. No, EC is deciding everything. यार 2 साल तुमने AGM नहीं कराई, सारा गंद कर दिया. अब बोल रहे हो कि
pandemic you forgotten. You forgot yourself locked.
I have an email from you saying we will have the AGM
in March, right? And what happened in March?
Lokesh, just 1
People
minute.
were dying left, right, and
No,
center.
but
Hey guys, come on, yeah. Just 1 minute, guys. Let's fix a date today.
Solution out of this.
Let's fix a date today only, yeah. For the next AGM, and where the elections will be held or whatever has to happen will happen, yeah.
Elections is happening now.
All the bylaws or something else, AGM is the all-powerful body. Yeah,
Exactly.
we can take any call here.
One second. So, why
So,
don't we-
Ashutosh, I want to ask you, since
I'm
you
just
are
saying,
the secretary of Doon School,
given that
tell
we
me
have
something.
the power
They were,
at a AGM,
I would ask Rahul.
to amend the bylaws as well, after we have that power.
One second. Let me ask.
AGM has the power to do anything.
So because we have the power to amend
Yeah,
the
bylaws are something that way to
One second, no. So because we have the powers to amend
Tell me
it, let's
something.
decide the election
There are
process
10
now and pass it.
nominations. There are 10
So
nominations.
I'll tell you what, yeah. If we are going to do this, let's go by the 2017 bylaws and finish this. Let's go by that bylaw. Yeah. Why necessarily break a head over it? Let's go by that bylaw. I have no problem. I'm not coming down.
So you're only fighting by yourself, you're not fighting the
By the way,
No, so Manjot, 1 second. So what actually, it's now the new president.
Yeah.
Rohit, listen, the thing is, there's a bit of a mess, alright? In the way the articles work, the way the way, again, given the current set of the articles, even the call for elections makes no sense, because you don't have an election for the EC, as far as the bylaws are concerned. So, yeah, but the point is you don't have it, if it's a nomination, then we should only have had an election for one person. So therefore, given that people have applied, and I'm not getting into whether it's 31st of March, that's a decision to be taken. Given that we have the power to amend the existing bylaws, why don't we agree that notwithstanding anything to the contrary contained in the bylaws, the following people will be elected to serve on the EC.
Alright, so I have to
Till the next AGM. No, the ones that applied, I would have thought before the 31st. I would have thought before the 31st.
Let's amend that one single bylaw.
So let's amend that single one, everyone that applied in accordance with the procedure that was set out, there's a legitimate expectation that there would be an election. Everyone that applied prior to the 31st, or whatever your deadline is, we should agree that there should be an election amongst them.
You don't even need an
Today,
election among them.
for to constitute the EC, and we resolve that to the extent there is any inconsistency.
No. So,
Just for the sake of it,
point
have
is-
the elections precisely.
Kirtiman,
Okay, among the state-
we 3/4 of us will adopt this one change in the bylaw to have this election for
Don't
the
have the
people who are
bylaw, forget
nominated.
it. You have 10 applications.
Yes.
You can have up to 18 people.
Yes.
Right? Take all 10 in.
Okay.
Finish, because your rules are all.
But what about the balance 8?
Which balance sheet?
Like-
Balance sheet. Only
Balance
10
sheet.
qualify
What-
because the application
balance
came in
sheet.
time.
No, balance sheet.
That's what they're saying.
No.
There
you
are
are getting a
10
different
applications that were received in time.
Take all 10 names just now.
Yes, that's right. Sort out your house and your order for the next year. For the next year.
And elect all these pass the next
But all these 10 people must get at least one
Okay.
vote each from the house.
Okay, just take the names.
Guys, who are the present here? Who are the present?
You don't need to be present for that.
Yeah.
No, present voting is the point.
Vote for it.
Who are the 10? Let's elect.
Okay, so Rohit Jaiswal and Vice President are there. Saurabh Narang, does anyone vote for you? Anyone who says, I vote for Saurabh Narang? Anyone?
Yeah, just open the, anyone online open the EC of 4 years back founders that he's elected, yeah. You can't do that, remove, check right now.
I can't check.
2019 he came on board. Who can't, no matter what match you do, you can't put
How can have a different I'm not election he was
No, but that's not right.
That's 18 yeah. Lokesh, Gaurav, that's 2018 yeah.
Elected
At the AGM in December,
So that means he's done 4 years.
He's done 4 years, yeah. He's done 4 years.
He's not done 3 years.
Since December 2018, it's still 4 years.
EC only elected today would continue for 2 years. Entire team.
That's 6
Now
months.
for him, his term will get over the next year, then you elect another guy next year. That's not possible.
2018
I want to say one
This is possible.
I just want to say one thing.
2018 AGM के अंदर Mohit Sehgal ने handed over the thing here.
Don't say 1 year or anything, right? From AGM to AGM is considered a tenure.
Yes.
Just consider, this happened in Doom Club also.
Alright, so that's correct.
That's
Let's move on with that. Now let's figure out whether he's eligible or not.
No, 2018.
One second.
2018.
18 yeah.
Election in UAE.
at the founders.
Yeah, founders में तो 19 में तो
By
है.
the end of 2000.
19 में हुआ यार. I took off from 19.
Yeah, be it 18 or 19. Just
I
say
took over
AGM to
19
AGM.
yeah. I took over 19.
ठीक है
Then your 4 years.
Hey, Lokesh, अरे नारायण को बनाओ यार कोई
He got added
ठीक है यार.
शादी तो यही बैच है.
So that's sorted.
Because Saurabh Narang is nominated. Then Uday Vishesh, the gentleman out here. Anyone? Uday Vishesh. Ankush Salaria. Ankush Salaria is batch of 97. Okay. Sorry, I can't see. Gurpreet Gambhir. I'm not raising my hand for him. Dhruv Dinsa. Anish Aditya Prasad.
He's the youngest slot we need.
Your voting will be done online.
Oh, you ask him which house were you in?
I was in Jamna House, I was the Jamna House prefect.
By the way, let me tell you, after I met him, I realized there are colors for bodybuilding also. You're the first one who got colors for bodybuilding. That's the new edition. Jagjit Singh.
Yeah.
He has something to say also, he sent us a video.
Rajvi Grewal.
So the only thing on Rajveer is that
Rajveer Singh or Rajveer Grewal?
Rajveer Singh को
Both
exam
times-
को बनाओ.
No, but 1 second. Both times that this guy has served, he's resigned. So I don't think we should be electing someone who's already resigned twice.
But tell me something, a guy who's been sacked from the EC twice in a row now, there must be some.
You are saying sack, he's saying resign.
No, sacked.
No, not sacked.
No, not
Resign.
यार आपको तो again तुम जो ही बात कर रहे हो तुम यार.
How's he been sacked?
When you said you make sure he resign by tomorrow or something.
No,
that's
no,
what
make
it
sure
is.
he resigns. No, so he resigned. I can't sack anyone unless there is an inquiry or something against him. How will I sack?
You only made him resign by just saying he sacked.
Yeah, you made him resign.
But you can't have someone who resigned twice coming back in.
So then,
he was also asked to इसमें resignation letter थोड़ी
wait for the elected thing then.
Yeah, but election तो हुआ ही नहीं है.
This whatever balance.
See the 10 that we're doing, they should be clear.
Yeah, that's right. But I agree with that. The 10 that we are doing, we should be clear about that.
The 10 should be
Whatever
managed.
left, we can have it with later.
Yeah, you're right.
चलो ठीक है.
If you want to bring him as a nominee,
Listen, guys, we have to wind up the teas.
Yeah, who else? Let's finish it.
So 10, these are the 10, yeah.
Great, perfect.
ये हो गया यार, and the rest, when the AGM will end, they'll be elected.
AGM की डेट तो बताओ. कब 2 साल फिर पता चला.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Thank you so much. Honoring, you know, no, but you got a place in Mosa separately. No. Mosa has been late because of people like you who are not loud.
First thing, work on the bylaws. How much time is it going to take us to do the bylaws? We'll take your
Good
Walk English, talk English.